I don't know how many favors you're allowed to call in each year from the great people at Instagram.
Well, let's call in one more. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and so is the man in black. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. Not Johnny Cash, but Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. Is that like a lightweight hoodie you got there?
The man in black.
You're in all black?
No, but I have the ESPN Madison logo and a Wisconsin football logo.
What color is your hat?
Black with white and red
What color
trim.
is your shirt?
I don't know.
That is a black shirt.
Okay, but if you're going to say the guy in black, it's all black. It can't be like bing, bing, bing. It's got to be all black.
It's just because there's logos. Never mind. How are you today?
If Johnny Cash had put red logos on his clothes, he would have been the man in black. He'd have been the logo dude. I'm doing good, Jason. I'm doing really good. I'm getting back on the horse, going to the Badger game tonight. I am all in on this team.
Oh, no.
I'm all in on this championship squad. I'm not going to let a bad performance in the second half, where we let our foot off the gas a little bit, deter my championship medal for this squad.
Okay.
So I'm in. I'm all in.
It's an 8 o'clock tip tonight.
A little later than I want. Yeah, not a big fan of that, but winding down with the time to actually watch these guys, so I don't think I'm going to get to another one, so this is it for me till the Final Four.
So we did not, because of all the... Unbelievable. Because of all the other stuff that was we discussed yesterday, including the signature sauce of the state of Wisconsin and all the other stuff, we never really got to this.
You sitting here telling us your life story and life plan with all your new ventures?
Yeah, not today. Not today. You made the statement you made, and then the Wisconsin men's basketball team went out and immediately went down to defeat.
Saw that.
In really difficult fashion.
A pretty tough loss. I agree with that.
A 17-point lead.
Yeah.
Do you harbor any responsibility whatsoever?
Not even a little bit.
For putting the whammy
Not
on?
even a little bit?
Not even a smidge. No, it happens. These things happen.
Even after last
Sports are
year,
tough.
when you said they were a Final Four team, they proceeded to lose like 10 out of 14 down the stretch.
I told you last year I saw cracks. The AJ Store storyline that I saw and kind of heard rumblings that there was stuff. And if you notice, I wasn't saying that stuff end of February. Don't check the tape because it might not be great for me. Early February, they were doing. I don't see the swoon coming. Let's just put it that way. I think this team is different. But we lose to Washington tonight, who's not a very good team. I'll come in tomorrow and say maybe old T jinxed them a little bit. But as we sit here today, not even a little bit. Okay?
All right. And your confidence has not been shaken at all?
Not even a smidge.
Just a mulligan.
Guys, college athletics is hard.
I've heard that.
Professional athletics, difficult. You have bumps in the road. You weather it, and then you move on. And that's what this team will do tonight. I'm not going to say I would bet, because I'm not going to say that. But I would venture big boy win tonight. Big boy win tonight.
All right.
It does help Washington's not very good.
That's what I literally just said. Yes.
Brian Gutekunst is at the podium in Indianapolis as we speak.
What's the one question you would have asked before? Because we're going to get a bunch of Goody audio. I know Josh and the boys are going to be smashing that together.
Yeah, we've got a new group chat.
What is the one question? I'm going to be Goody. Let me be Goody, because I love Goody now.
Okay.
Jason, you made the trip to Indy. You just scarfed down a gallon of scrimps with some of that good hot sauce.
Ugh, no thanks.
You woke up a little bloated. You meandered your way over to the RCA Dome, and now you're sitting there.
The RCA Dome.
Very gassy, ready to ask Goody a question. Go ahead.
Goody, what would you say?
Nice to see you actually show up somewhere, Jason. I didn't know you went on the road. There must be that new gig that you got. I'm going to be a little more confrontational, Goody, than maybe Goody is. So glad that you can make it.
Yeah, great
After all those shrimp you ate last night, I saw you up at that steakhouse wolfing down them scrimps.
Great. Why do you keep calling them scrimps,
Because that's what I call them.
You didn't call them that yesterday.
I did today.
Goody, great to be here. Thanks for acknowledging my presence. First of all, before we get into any football, what would you say is the signature condiment or item from Wisconsin when it comes to food?
I think secret sauce. The secret sauce. I used to go to County Stadium with my family, go down there. Most of the games would get rained out, and I'd have to drive back to La Crosse and be miserable. But when they did have a game, secret sauce.
Okay. Where do you think you are in terms of the wide receiver position, and do you believe that Davante Adams makes sense for this team where it stands right now?
Well, I appreciate that question, Jason. Davante obviously was a great player here. He's still under contract with the New York Jets, so I can't speak on other players. But what I will say is we came into this season with really high hopes of what this group would do, that they would grow. And I think this last year showed that we are not there yet. I don't know. We are going to constantly look to improve this lineup, to improve this group. The drop rate was way too high with this group. We are going to push these guys to improve, but we're not going to just trust. I'm an old Ronald Reagan guy. I want verification. I didn't get it this year. I am going to be ultra aggressive in making that room more competitive and better through every avenue that is at my disposal. That's what I'm going to do, Jason.
Okay, so now here is the actual answer that Goody just gave, because Wes Hodkiewicz from Packers.com, who is not in Indianapolis, and Rob Domofsky from ESPN.com, who is also not in Indianapolis, are tweeting live these quotes. Here's Goody, and we'll hear it ourselves coming up, but here's what Wes posted. Gutekunst on wide receivers. Obviously, Christian is going to miss some time. We'll see where that goes, he says of the wide receiver position. That's going to create opportunities for guys on the roster that I'm excited for. We have a long way to go with free agency and the draft. Once again, as I've said many times, Goody says a lot of words. He doesn't necessarily give us a lot to go on. Hansel and Gretel would say that there are very few breadcrumbs that actually get dropped.
Yeah. It's not really the words. There's occasionally you can decipher through some of it.
Sure.
He's adding talent into that room. Like, he is not going to, I can assure, I feel so confident that it is not going to just be hope Dobbs is going to be the guy. Hope that Jaden Reed, you are going to hope that happens, but that is not what you are going to bank on. This isn't dice rolling with Goody. This is, I want to stack decks. I want to give myself multiple different fronts to win. And at the receiver spot, we are not going to just run it back and hope. Because that drop rate and what we saw last year was not good enough. And if these guys aren't pushed and to grow and to do everything that we hope, you need to have some other guys there in case of emergency, or just to bring the room's level up, because the level wasn't good enough last year. It wasn't consistent, and they didn't have that guy that could alleviate some of that pressure. The pressure kept mounting, and unfortunately, they never were able to handle that in a good way. Mm-hmm. And once you start getting a little dropsy, that gets contagious too.
We will have some of the audio from Goody at the podium. He also spoke to Wisconsin reporters a little bit earlier in the day. We'll see what he had to say there. He is currently talking about the defensive line and Lucas Van Ness. We'll hear from him on those things, because those things are very interesting to me as well. We'll see what he divulges, if anything. He did confirm that the Green Bay Packers were the team, as reported, who pushed or brought the proposal to the NFL that the Tush push be banned. I want to get into that.
Yep.
And how Mark Murphy is the trial balloon guy for the commish. And I'm curious if Ed Policy will take on that role as well. But here's the thing. Don't rely on trial balloons when it comes to your creaky, leaky, squeaky, drafty windows. Make the move to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, that is what you should do. And it's been a while since we won a championship up in Green Bay. It was 15 years? We better get one in the next 6, or there's going to be a lot of disappointed folks. especially up at $1,265. You can accomplish a lot in 6 years. Go from changing diapers to dropping off your kid. You get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And it can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new windows at 0% interest. Right now, Pella Windows is getting this deal, and Gina doesn't text a lot. When she does, take notice. 0% interest, 72 months / 6 years, however you want to frame it. It is unbelievable. And you, as always, get a 10-year labor warranty included with your windows and doors, so they're secure for years to come. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends March 8th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
We'll talk Tush Push next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's PBR Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum Saturday, March 1st and Sunday, March 2nd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has 13 Milwaukee area branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
Kevin Morat, Mentality founder here with a wake-up call. You're running on fumes, gentlemen. Just 1/3 of the free testosterone you need. That's why you're drained, defeated, and disgusted with your progress. But here's the truth. Mentality doctors specialize in epic comebacks. Our clients show an increase of 30% testosterone levels within the first month. We don't just treat men, we reignite lives. Just imagine the focus, energy, and drive being restored. Your comeback starts now. Don't wait. Make this your best year yet. Start today at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
They say seeing is believing. And when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette. The newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Knick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Knick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom-made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockerontheLake.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
The NFL scouting combine is in full swing in Indianapolis. I see Giants general manager Joe Shane is addressing reporters now, where he says that
see what great players he's going to get rid of this offseason.
He's I don't know if he's got any left to let walk out the door, but he did say that even if they draft a quarterback to the Giants, he wants a veteran in the room to show him the ropes. The Tauscher plan, no Frosh play.
Rodgers.
Till Thanksgiving Day.
Rodgers going to the G-Men.
Or maybe Matthew Stafford.
Dude, why on earth would Matthew Stafford go to the Giants?
I don't know. I'm not saying.
And he won't.
He was asked about Matthew Stafford and punted on that question.
Listen, man, I'm not in the business of calling for people's jobs. What I am in the business of is analyzing and saying how you've done.
Sure.
How on earth does that guy still have a job?
Yeah, it's a fair criticism.
They have taken that team and run it into the ground and then decided that wasn't deep enough. They needed to go into the ocean.
Put down the shovel.
They have been so bad, and I thought this last year. It's like I kind of understood, all right, Saquon, you paid Jones. You didn't want to. You were forced to because you weren't proactive. Worst place to be is in that limbo. They were limboing, and that pole smacked them in the face on the limbo. Okay? And then you compound that by instead of reset, you let Saquon go. All right. But the Xavier McKinney one is completely there is no justification. That is something that I think if you're an owner of the team, you look at and say, what the hell were you doing?
Yeah, it's fair. Very fair.
And you're going to let that guy continue to evaluate your roster? Hey, kudos to you. I'm all right with it. If that happens in Green Bay, brutal.
We'll hear more from Brian Gutekunst coming up, but he did confirm that the Packers were the team that put forth the proposal to ban the Tush push. It will then be discussed for the competition committee at the NFL meetings next month. Tausch, are you pro or con on the Tush push? And how do you feel about the Packers being the team that brings this issue to the forefront?
I don't have a problem with it. I think if you feel strongly about something, what I don't understand about this, the NFL is always looking for player safety and entertain me. Those are your two things. This does neither. Is anybody entertained? Jesse, are you entertained? Jason, are you entertained when it becomes 4th and 3 feet? And you're going to tush push? Are you entertained by that?
I kind of am, actually.
All right, Jesse, shut your mic off. Jason, are you entertained by that?
No, Tausch, not at all.
So what I don't get about it, I am not one of these, just figure it out. They have done, and I remember this moment very vividly, a young, scrappy number 65 gets put in against the Buffalo Bills.
Lane Taylor?
In Buffalo in the year 2000.
Oh, okay.
And I am on field goal protection. I'm playing right guard, which is right next to the center. And the Buffalo Bills put Ted Washington and I can't remember the other, Sam Adams, who were at that time, they were a couple biscuits, if anything, short of 400 each. And then they had linebacker behind pushing both of them. And old T, a young player, I got barrel rolled. That wasn't fun. A year or two later, they decided to get rid of that play because it was dangerous. And it is literally the exact same thing as the tush push, but the other way. We have seen this now. And the field goal, you remember when we used to have field goals kicked from the 2-yard line? And
extra points. This is exactly right. Automatic, so they moved it because it was automatic.
Entertaining. It was too much. The success rate on tush pushes, not Phillies, in general, 87%. Very high percentage of success.
It's a lot, yeah.
And you can't really judge the marking of the football. And you saw what the disaster that happened in the NFC Championship, where they were going to award points because the Washington football squad is like, well, the hell with it. We're just going to jump off sides, and it's no big deal.
Right.
So you could alleviate a problem here. Nobody's saying you can't quarterback sneak. We're all on board. Right. Go ahead. The tush push needs to go because of all of the things I just mentioned. And this isn't because Green Bay's not necessarily great at it. Tucker Kraft has been very successful doing that little motion. The fact that people don't see that coming is still amazing to me, but it's time. We've seen it. It's been utilized. It's not entertaining. It's dangerous for players. It's not a player safety thing. And the most important thing is it's not entertaining. So why they're going to die on this hill, I have no problem with what Green Bay is doing. They should look at it, and it should be banned. You can do quarterback sneaks, but if in a league that wants more and more entertaining and fantasy football and all of that stuff, it is time. This thing should be done.
So, first of all, I made the same point, so great minds think alike, about the extra point. One of the reasons was because it was so automatic. It wasn't entertaining. They wanted to make it more fraught with possible mistakes, so they moved it, and now it's 33 yards. I also think it's important. I went back because Tucker Kraft ran the tight end sneak 5 times.
I was going to say 6 times, but okay.
Twice against Philly in the playoff game.
That was a fun one.
He was 5 for 5 in converting.
5 for fighting.
However, that was a good band. Yeah. However, those plays, no one is pushing him after he receives the snap. One of the people behind him is Jordan Love, who I don't think you want him pushing his way into the scrum.
I just love how everybody, once the news leaked that Green Bay was the one that did it, they put the one Jordan Love against the Falcons when he looked like a fawn and his legs collapsed and he fell over the right guard without the ball. And they're like, no wonder you all want it banned. Yeah, there is an advantage, but Jalen Hurts and the guys that are really good at it, they still have a big advantage. They're better runners of the football, and their quarterback sneak game will be better. So you can still do this. The other thing that I don't understand about this, why put Saquon in there? Why not bring Jalen Carter in to push?
To do the shoving?
Get some more beef. Wendy's campaign of more beef or whatever that thing was back in the 80s.
Where's the beef? Yeah. Oh, free advertising for Wendy's, by the way, right there.
They got Frosties. Frosties are pretty good.
Yes. They do have Frosties. Thank you, Jesse.
Kick save and a beauty, Jess.
So why not bring in, if you're going to continue to allow this, I think you go, remember when Wisconsin used to run the barge? It'd bring 10 linemen in. Load up. Every player should be a lineman. Wideouts, everything, and just corral them back and just go to work. And that might be the impetus to shut this thing down.
So, again, I think it's important, though, because I'm seeing some of it in the YouTube comments already. The Tucker Kraft tight end sneak, while the center and the guards do the same thing that the Eagles centers and guards do of getting low on those defensive linemen, there's nobody pushing Tucker Kraft. There's no push to the Kraft conversion or whatever you want to call it. Now, after he picked up the first down on one of those runs against the Eagles, then they kept pushing him and it turned into an 8-yard gain. But overall, there's no pushing. So no one is saying, as you just said, no one is saying you can't run that
quarterback
play.
Sneaks are going to always be they need to be a part of it.
Goes back to Bart Starr in the Ice Bowl. So no one's saying you're banning the quarterback sneak. But the idea of big dudes pushing the guy from behind to get the first down is a problem. Now, Goody did not go further into what their proposal said. I don't know. You're the one who's played on the offensive line. You certainly have friends or opponents who've played on the defensive line. You have any problem with, low man wins? Do you have any problem with the way that it is blocked with those guys getting low on the guys in front of them?
First off, they call offside. Sometimes they don't. The officials already have a tough job.
Yep.
It's an impossible play to officiate. You're going to continue to see defensive players, especially down by the goal line, do what Washington did. And it would be a crime from an NFL standpoint if you start handing touchdowns out.
Yeah, that was bad.
So that should have been the wake-up call. Usually the impetus for change is playoff games. Everybody that fights against that, just play that audio of the ref saying, if you do it again, it's going to be an auto touchdown. How's that going to go? Who are you giving the tutter to? And you got gambling and all the other stuff. So this should be the catalyst for, we probably need to get rid of that. And from Green Bay's standpoint, if they are not going to, and I don't think they will for another year, and I think it's going to turn into a complete you-know-what show.
Uh-huh.
I want to see Kenny Clark back there. I want to see Tenuta back there. I want to see bring in the beef, and let's go to work. And then you have to start thinking now from Green Bay. I would start working. I don't think you want Jordan Love to take those hits.
No.
Get a thick Tim Tebow-like quarterback. The play's incredibly important.
It's Tucker Kraft. He played quarterback in 9-man football in South Dakota.
Okay. Tucker Kraft, and then you bring in some beef behind him, and it's boom, boom, boom. And eventually, I don't know. Watching the Chiefs-Bills game, it was a great game. It was entertaining.
Uh-huh.
Every blank and third, and then it was jumping the gun, and it just was not. I don't think for a really good game that was, I thought that, I'm not going to say it marred it, but it didn't enhance my viewing. It didn't enhance the whole process of the game. So just like, was it Marie and Antoinette? Off with the tush push. That's what I would say.
One last thing on this, and we'll ask.
Who said off with their heads? Was that Marie and Antoinette?
Wasn't that the Queen in Alice in Wonderland?
I'm asking who said it. I don't know. That's why I asked.
Well, first of all,
off with their heads.
First of all, I thought Marie Antoinette was let them eat cake.
But I think she was part of both. You don't have to just be a one-trick pony when it comes to
the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland.
Nailed it.
Off with their heads.
Sharp with those trivia skills back here from last night.
Yeah, apparently not. Marie Antoinette did say, though, let them eat cake. So she did not say let them eat cake and have it too, or whatever it might be. Last thing on this.
What does that have to do with off with their heads? But
you said, all right, if you'd like me to recap.
Forward phrase.
You said Marie Antoinette said.
I said, did she? I didn't say she did. I was asking. I was looking for confirmation.
Right. Well, we gave you correction instead. Is it embarrassing? Neil asked this question in the YouTube comments, and I think it's a good one. In any way, are you embarrassed that the Packers were the team
Not at all.
to put this forward?
I saw that out on social media yesterday. I saw some former players talking about it. It's not. It's not.
Because?
Because you're soft and all this other stuff. And then
that is what they're saying.
You see the fawn, Jordan, fawning. I understand why people say that, but I think the Packers are the trial balloon for this whole thing.
That is what Mark Murphy does.
This play, I know they're trying to tell you nobody gets hurt with it, and it is a complete mess down there. And the fact that you can't officiate it, and if nothing else, it's not entertaining. Jesse finds it entertaining, but I'm not even going to get into why. That could be a whole psychological deal. It's not entertaining. It's very predictable. It doesn't enhance your viewing. It's not pro player safety. And it's going to embarrass your league. It's going to. Because why on earth, if I'm the Bears and I'm playing the Packers and Tucker Kraft is down there on the 3-inch line, I'm jumping the snap count every blanking time.
Right.
And it could be, it's like playing ping pong. You have to set a tone at the end of a game. You can't just say you can't lose on a bad serve. You could sit there for an hour and a half. A guy just keeps rattling the ball off the back wall, hoping he catches the back end of the table. Nothing fun about that. You have to put some parameters in place to finish the game.
Yep. We will ask
Kohler
Evan Cohen.
Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, you don't want no tush push, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life in this month only. 0 interest and 0 financing on your Lugstone shower remodel, and you get a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation. Well, that is always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Did we get some sort of notification from the Gilligan's Island people that you could no longer sing a free shower door, a free shower door?
I don't know. I haven't heard if we've gotten anything.
Well, why didn't you sing it then?
You've
Because that
gone
was
away
usually one of
from
the
doing
highlights
that.
of the Kohler
You have
Services.
to dodge and weave a little bit. It can't just be the same old tricks, man. You got to have some new tricks.
Well, what was the new trick in that?
You just said it very
what?
Boringly.
Correctly.
Evan Cohen joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything to update your home. Easily create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. With so many styles to choose from, you'll be sure to find plenty of options that you will love. Start your project today and save big on Clearview Cabinetry. Visit Menards.com to view our entire selection of Clearview cabinets today. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
She's different and special and loaded with personality.
And there's one more thing, but you can't explain it in words.
She's the one.
She's the one.
The one.
You know it.
Your friends know it.
The whole world knows it.
We curated a special selection of engagement rings for her.
Can you guess what we call it?
We call it the One Collection by Kessler's.
Because these engagement rings are different.
And special.
And loaded with personality.
And one more thing. But you can't explain it in words.
Engagement rings in the One Collection start at just $725.
But some of them are more.
A lot more.
But we've got you covered.
First, we have 12 months financing at 0%. Or
second, we have 36 months financing at 9.99%, both with approved credit.
Third, we have second chance financing if you need someone to give you a second chance.
And don't forget the Kessler's warranty.
The strongest warranty of any jewelry store in the world.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, Bucks fans, it's Alex Stroh. Enjoy Michelob Ultra with me this Saturday night at Coach's Pub and Grill on South 13th Street in Milwaukee. I'll be at Coach's watching the Bucks take on the Dallas Mavericks starting at 7:30. Stop by for a chance to win Michelob Ultra prizes. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Papa Stash Big Bend, Maxwell's in Cedarburg, and State Street Pizza. We'll see you this Saturday night at Coach's Pub and Grill on South 13th for the Bucks game. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
Comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. Call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliate. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliate. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Wisconsin, Inc. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. The Marquette Greatest Anything must include Dwayne Wade, but he only played 2 seasons, so he can't match the numbers of those with 3 or 4 years. But Wade is the leader of the 2-year club. Career average 19.7, among the best ever. Similar to Jim Jones' 2 years, 19 a game. And 2-year club, add Andrew Rousey. Like Wade and Jones, a season averaging over 20 points per game. Dwayne Wade, Jim Jones, Andrew Rousey, among the greatest scorers with only 2 seasons of play.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
You hear him every weekday, or watch him if you're watching television, but you hear him across ESPN Wisconsin on Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman. And he joins us every week. It is Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch. Evan, as a former quarterback, were you ever part of a tush push back in the day?
I'm glad you phrased it that way. Obviously, that is important to note. No, not to my knowledge. I think I was pushed down by a tush of a defender, maybe just holding the ball. But no, not the formal version of a tush push.
So, Evco, what I don't understand about this, and I'm curious, I heard Canty's take, and I think it was very smart this morning. But why, if you're going to do this, what I have not figured out yet is why not go all in? And bring in offensive linemen or defensive linemen, like if the Eagles. Why not bring Jalen Carter in to be the pusher instead of Saquon?
But I've been saying that for a year. I don't understand.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, right?
Right. I'll give you another one that's like that, not apples to apples. Can you explain to me?
Great game, by the way. Apples to apples.
Well, can you explain to me on a kneel down why, when you have somebody behind the quarterback, is it a wide receiver instead of a defender? Because if, God forbid, there's a fumble
and
the other team recovers, it should be somebody that knows how to tackle. Well, okay, but dude, a safety is not fast and can tackle?
Your wideout should be your fastest guy. Your point's taken.
It's a good point.
It's an okay point. It's not his best, but it's a good point.
It's an important point.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
Jordan Love's taking a knee. More likely than not, it's like Romeo Dobbs behind him. Why is it Xavier McKinney not behind him, who's fast and can tackle?
I would put your fastest, best tackler. I think you could look at that and say,
well, that usually is a defender, Tausch, and not a wide receiver.
Listen, I agree. I'm not arguing with you. I think it's something I hadn't really thought about, and I think it's probably something that people should look into. Okay?
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, you just don't. Is it fair to say that you don't particularly enjoy when Evan comes on and makes good points?
No, I actually love it. It's nice when somebody on this air will come back and bring something that's interesting and good. That's why I love these appearances with Evco. Evan, I heard you late with Jim Harbaugh. I would have thought Jim Harbaugh, of all the coaches, he would be the last coach that I would think would be late to his scheduled time on Unsportsmanlike. Would you have thought that, or is there a different active NFL coach that you would think would be late to his appointment?
I think that's a great topic in general. So basically, for those who did not hear, and you can go back on our podcast and listen for the Unsportsmanlike podcast, Jim Harbaugh, I promoted. He was joining us at 8:15 your time. In fact, I emailed last night a teammate of ours at ESPN Milwaukee, who's a huge Michigan man, and I said, hey, FYI, your coach or your ex-coach is going to join us at 8:15. I want to give you the heads up. Okay, so I'm promoting 8:15. I think he joined us at about 9:26 or 8:26, excuse me, your time. And they did give us a heads up on that, but I agree with you.
It was 8:32.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
well, I was
clock integrity.
listening.
That's always your thing. That's your thing, clock integrity.
Yep.
Let's do it this way, Tausch. If I told you an NFL head coach would be late for an interview, the most likely NFL head coach to be late for an interview would be?
Ooh, this is
the dude for the Dolphins. McDaniels.
Mike McDaniel?
Yep. That's who I would
not
guess.
McDaniels. No way.
Whatever. Yeah, that's who I'd guess. McDaniels.
Well, not whatever, Tauschers.
No,
right,
you can
Tauschers.
pluralize me. That's fine. I'm all right with that.
You can pluralize
Mike McDaniel is my answer.
Jason, excuse me?
Wilde's.
Jason, you would know. You give a heads up for an interview that you have and let everybody know. Come on, Jason. You know this stuff.
I don't know who it would be, Evan. Why don't you tell us who it would be?
Dynamite drop.
I don't know. How would I know the answer? I'm asking you. Okay, Jason, was there ever a player
I would have
coach
said the
that you
old
would
coach for
schedule-
the Chicago Bears because he time management and stuff. Eberflus. That would have been another good one, but
I'm
he's
sure
gone.
he forgot his name.
Well, he's gone.
Jason, was there ever a player or coach with the Packers that you would schedule a time to meet with that would always be late?
I have never had that happen to me. But Matt LaFleur is frequently late for his press conferences with us, and so was Mike McCarthy. But, again, to be on a radio show is completely different.
That surprises me.
Well, they're all on Lombardi time.
Well, obviously not.
I'm sorry for Eric Davidson that the coach of the Chargers was not.
Very frustrating.
Revealing my sources, Jason. Come on.
Well, we love Eric, so I thought I'd give him a shout out on the show. I know he listens religiously. So wait a minute. I'm confused because we started, and then you guys started doing your vaudeville act here. So you are pro or con on the Tush push when push comes to shove?
Well done.
Thank you.
I believe it should be allowed because I don't understand how we're going to pinpoint because one team is successful at one thing that it should be outlawed. Because those who say, well, it's a boring play. I was thoroughly entertained with what happened with the Commanders in the playoffs. I thought that was actually funny. And if we're going to say, well, it's too easy for them, well, percentage-wise, the Eagles convert 88% of the tush pushes. By that logic, we should eliminate the extra point, which is converted 96% of the time for all teams. And if we're going to go even further, if you want to take away plays that work too easily for a team, well, then I promise you, you can find a play for the Kansas City Chiefs that works too easily, and then you could ban that.
Slippery slope. I would agree.
Right. Jason, this is the other thing that I'm curious your thoughts on, because Tausch, like Canty, former players, they look at it differently. Right? If we're going to say it's too easy, it's boring, it's injury-prone, how many other plays fall into those categories during the course of an NFL game that we then could say, well, ban those?
Come on. You know what? No, that is just so... No, it's dumb.
Is a kickoff exciting? Is a kickoff exciting?
No.
Okay,
and they've tinkered with it. They've tinkered with it, and at some point they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to. Here's the thing. Is that play entertaining? You like it. You and Jesse are the same sports fan. You guys like it. The fact that you ran in that AFC Championship game, Buffalo ran it like 10 times. 10 out of 70 plays were tush pushes. Yeah, great stuff.
So?
Now, they didn't get all of them, everything else. So, two things. Picture this. They're down there against Washington in the fourth quarter, Philly. And the refs say out loud on their microphone, if you do it again, we're awarding you a touchdown. Is the juice going to be worth the squeeze, the embarrassment? And then also, who are you giving that touchdown to? Because now we're taking parlays, baby. We're taking gambling money, and you're just going to hand a touchdown out to somebody? There's millions of dollars on the line, and because you want to say, get rid of this play, you can't officiate it. People are offsides. People are jumping. You can't officiate the play. You can't mark it properly because it's a pile of humanity. Go back to the Eagles will still be successful quarterback sneaking with Jalen Hurts. Yeah. They will. And if you want, you can say you're not allowed to have more than one guy in each gap of the linebacker pushing because they banned that on field goal protection. They didn't let Tush push. Thank God. My career would have been shorter if they had. So they got rid of it on the defensive side of the ball, which I heard Canty talking about. It's predictable. Is the juice worth the squeeze of the embarrassment and the gambling component to this and the entertainment value? Is it worth it to keep this one play? The answer is resoundingly no.
All right, so if we're going to look at one play that is unbelievably successful for one team, did you complain when Aaron Rodgers would trigger everyone to jump off sides with a hard count that was pretty much only successful for that one player on your team? Did you think that was wrong? Because guys could get hurt that way.
How are guys getting hurt?
Guys could absolutely get hurt then.
How?
What do you mean how? Some guys are ready, some guys are not ready. You're not ready. A guy pummels you through the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, you're on the ground.
Hey, Evan, you know who's most likely to get hurt on that? Is the quarterback. That's
okay,
who's most likely.
Then we should ban it because it's,
well,
I mean,
if you've
I didn't
noticed,
hear you complaining about that.
if you've noticed, they have started blowing the whistle on that. They have shut that down to a large extent.
Okay,
they have.
But when it was most successful, Aaron Rodgers is the single best quarterback at the hard count, maybe in the history.
Yes, I would agree.
You're right.
Sport.
Totally agree with that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he individually, like the Eagles, did it better than everyone else and did it so well that he won a Super Bowl and had an insane amount of success. You as his teammate, did you complain?
No. Nope.
Okay.
All right, so here's the argument that I have, though, Evan, and I'd like you to shoot this.
Jason, I think I pummeled him on that one.
You didn't pummel me on anything. You want me to
we'll get the official scoreboard. Where's Matt LePay on this? Let's get the answers from LePay.
I thought it was Josh DiMaggio's job to score these bouts.
Depending on which text thread you're on here.
So here's the argument that I have, and shoot this down if you must. The simple part of this is you just shouldn't be able to shove the guy from behind. You could still block it the way you do.
Yep.
You can still do all the other parts.
Yep.
The Packers motion Tucker Kraft under center, and then he gets the snap, and he's a big, burly tight end, and they do the same blocking that the Eagles do of going low on the guys in front of him, and he dives forward, and he was 5 for 5 without anyone pushing him as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Is that not just the easy fix here? Then the Eagles can still run it, and you could just say, look, you cannot aid the ball carrier by shoving him, which used to be the rule before they stopped it.
That's an easy solution. Totally agree.
Wait, so Jason, this is where I'm confused personally on this. Canty read a rule this morning on our show that would indicate what you're suggesting is already deemed illegal. To which I responded, well, wait a minute. Why are they allowing then, in this scenario, why are they allowing an illegal play for the better part of the last 2 years? Because we talk a lot about closing loopholes. I'll give you an example.
East Coast bias. I think this is East Coast bias.
How is that East Coast bias?
Philly's good at it, and they like to see big city.
Could you just let him finish?
Well, he asked a rhetorical question that I answered.
No, okay, but here's the difference. If that is true with the rules, again, we talk about closing loopholes a lot in the NFL and the rules and things like that. In 2014, the Patriots played a game against the Ravens in the playoffs. Canty was on the Ravens during this game. It is arguably my favorite Patriots game I've ever watched. They were down 14 twice in the game in the second half and actually won. And in that game, as you remember, they lined up their tight end as the tackle and the tackle as the tight end, and made the tackle in this case, which was really the tight end, eligible. It's something they saw Lane Kiffin do at Alabama under Nick Saban earlier in the season. That was completely legal, but it was a loophole that New England found that they then closed after the season because they did not have a rule on that. Jason, the rule that you are suggesting to be enacted, per Canty, already exists, which then I understand this whole thing less.
Right. And again, I've seen conflicting reports of whether that rule is still technically on the books or not, but it was on the books for a very long time. I did an event yesterday with Corey Lindsley and our teammate Brian Bulaga for a charity up here, and they both brought up how when they were, and those guys aren't old guys themselves, it was always you can't aid the ball carrier as an offensive lineman. They were always taught that. And so the argument that I read in multiple places yesterday was the NFL said it's too hard to officiate. Well, you made the hip drop tackle illegal, and that's hard to officiate.
Well, they don't call it.
And a lot of times they don't call it.
Fine them.
And then they fine him after the fact. This one, it is very easy to see him being pushed from behind. Is it the umpire that's back there, or whoever is behind the play can clearly see Jalen Hurts is being pushed in the brotherly shove. So that should be very easy to officiate.
So, guys, you have the pulse of this. I do not. Are Packers fans today happy their team is the one bringing this up, or are they embarrassed that their team is the one bringing this up?
We're taking calls next on that. What's the number, Jason?
Oh, really?
844.
Oh, it's Tuesday, though. Interesting.
That is interesting.
It's an inside content call joke right there. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776.
Content calls. No offense.
I
said no offense.
Super
I said
fun.
no offense. We know Jesse's too busy to join him, but that's a whole nother story. No offense.
Tausch, anything to add?
I think that was a knockoff.
Yeah,
I think that was a walk-off. I think I'm good. I don't have anything else.
Okay, Evan, I guess we're done. Thanks.
All right, guys. See ya.
Really stuck the landing there.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Tausch wants to get to calls. Are you embarrassed, or do you agree with the Packers that they brought this proposal to the league?
I was surprised as many people have said they're embarrassed. I think it's because they think we soft. That's what I think.
Okay. Tausch wants calls. So when Tausch asks for calls,
let's see if we get some.
We ask you
I'll
to
be
dial
curious
it up.
if people are intrigued by this because it has.
We've spent a lot of time on it, and we're going to get some calls that say move on as well,
maybe.
I'm guessing.
All right.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. I know that our crack team of producers have put together a number of the clips from Goody at the podium at the NFL Scouting Combine, so we're going to get to those as well. But I'm with Tausch. I am very curious if there is an embarrassment here.
I just think that whole way the NFC Championship game unfolded had to have been a huge red flag for the league to sit here and say, well, we can't. After 4 offsides, people jumping snap counts. I can't get up here and have my ref say, award this touchdown to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you're doing a parlay or you're doing something and you have Saquon and they're going to say, well, tough luck. We're just giving it to him. It ain't going to end well. And there will be a lot of issues in play. And the league, if you want to be proactive, I'd get out in front of this. Okay?
Okay, pumpkin. 844-770-3776. The phone lines are going to light up for this because of old T. 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order in store, online, or on their app for a limited time. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
The Green and Gold Championship window is on the clock.
To me, their window is now wide open. From here on out, they have the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
The countdown to the NFL draft in Green Bay is on.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks. Goody's inability to nail the first-round draft pick is what is keeping this team from being a true Super Bowl contender.
Green and Gold off-season talk right here. 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
What I want, you've got, and it might be hard.
844-770-3776. Are you?
Nobody's calling, right? It's a terrible idea by OT.
I didn't. No,
I'm asking Jesse. I'm not saying you. Yeah. Jesse was giving me a look like, that was the look I got.
You seem a little aggressive today.
No, I'm in a great mood. Stop. I don't want you guys. I've noticed something about you two. And I know you guys are tagging up on me, and I have no problem bringing it.
We're not.
Just hold up. Let me finish. I don't want any more projecting of how I'm feeling by y'all. Now, if somebody puts up something like Tausch is a little hostile today on the talk and text line, you can say it. But when you guys project to me, then you sour me. You don't want sour tea.
No.
You want ambitious, positive,
sweet tea.
Ideas
sweet tea.
When you get sour tea, it's when you start telling me how sour I am.
All I said was you seem a little aggressive.
But
today.
I'm not. I'm just being. I have passion.
I
love my
anything.
job. So I'm gonna be passionate. I'm not gonna sit here. I ain't a wallflower.
Right. Hey,
I'm not a wallflower.
All right, Jacob Dylan, Wallflowers.
Who's Jacob Dylan?
He's the lead singer of the Wallflowers and the son of Bob Dylan.
What songs did they? I used to really like.
With one headlights. Remember that one?
Baby's Black Balloon Makes You Cry. Is that a Wallflower song?
No, I think
like
that's
that
Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, Goo Goo Dolls. It's a very similar genre.
Yeah, in fact, the Matchbox 20 channel on Sirius XM plays all three of those bands.
I'm not going to lie to you. My Sirius XM is out, and I've been listening to some pop music. This is Sabrina Carpenter.
Didn't
know anything about her. She's got some hits.
She's very good.
She's got some hits. Did she become big because of Taylor Swift?
You just discovered the
I didn't know
hottest
anything about
pop
Sabrina
star
Carpenter
in the world right now?
I'll tell you what. I think Eleanor has been the most pleased without SiriusXM because now that the only problem with those stations, they play the same 3 songs over. It'd be like us talking Packers. It's Sabrina Carpenter on some of those stations. They play the hits now.
So do we.
What's the Sabrina Carpenter song that's super popular?
Espresso?
Sing it a little bit.
The sweet espresso.
That was the worst rendition of espresso.
I think I'd like a little Sabrina and Baby Black Balloon for the next 2 hours.
All right, we'll get the Goo Goo Dolls queued up.
A lot of requests from Old Tea today.
Well, I'm sweet. I'm not sour, even though you guys are trying to sour me.
Okay, so here's the only drawback.
Johnny projectors.
What? No one's projecting.
No, you guys project.
I'm just going to state this as a fact. Tausch called for calls. He got 5 of them.
Well, let's get to them.
And then he started talking about Sabrina Carpenter and us projecting.
Y'all projected
and his
on
radio
Old
being
T.
out.
Y'all projected on Old T, and I just said, don't project on Old T.
It's Dame time on season 4
Twisted Tea today.
of Behind the Bucks. Maybe I like sweet tea versus sour tea. I'm on board with that. I'm also on board with Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. Explore it on the Bucks Audio Radio Network, Bucks Plus. You can find it on bucks.com/plus. Right now, they're talking about Damian Lillard's unlikely journey from a 2-star high school recruit to a top 75 player in NBA history. The series, narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. You can find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Tausch asked for calls. You guys obliged. And then he started talking about other stuff. We will get to your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's PBR Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum, Saturday, March 1st and Sunday, March 2nd. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they help me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
What's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're community advocates, fundraisers, small business champions, and all around passionate about you. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together. Insured by NCUA.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle Breston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
feels like a missed opportunity to play some Sabrina Carpenter. So we
or
kick off
Baby's
the 10
Black Balloon Makes You Fly. I feel like Goo Goo Dolls is getting to the point where they're playing some smaller venues now, right?
I hear they're opening for the Killers at Summerfest.
Is that right?
No. Let's get to your call.
Why would you say that then?
To get your hopes up? I don't know. Maybe we can make that. Maybe we could speak
you like
that
sour
into existence.
and tea, don't you?
Yeah. No, I want to get to these calls because I want to get people want to hear what Goody had to say. We're here to give it to them, but we're taking calls right now.
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed or are you glad?
Is Jesse embarrassed? One word answer.
It takes a lot for Jesse to get embarrassed.
No, I love when people propose rule changes and go about it the formal way. It's right up my alley.
That's true.
It's true, actually. Check out ESPNWisconsinContest.com for more. All right, 844-770-3776. Are you embarrassed that the Packers were the team that put forth the proposal to ban the tush push? Let's start with Matt in Verona. Matt, good morning. Your lovely town that you live in.
Big hockey tussle tonight. Verona is playing. I think who does Verona got tonight in hockey? Wanakee. Middleton playing Edgewood.
Oh boy,
big battles going on. Kind of the Madison powerhouses in the hockey community.
Huge. My nephew is the goalkeeper for Verona, so I'll be there.
Ooh,
wow. Okay. And thank you, Matt, because Tausch extolling the huge game and then not even knowing who's playing in it is right on brand.
Are you said
sour
Verona
yet?
was playing. They're favorites now.
Yeah, the opponent
was unbeaten.
Seems like it also key part of the story.
Spash was unbeaten. Everybody had crowned him. And then Eau Claire went in there and knocked him off. 4-1. Undefeated regular season. Boom. Over. Verona, Edgewood, they're all ready to go win a championship.
So now it's wide open, you're saying.
It's exactly
for the
what I'm
taking.
Saying. Yes.
You got 5 callers lined up, right?
Yeah. What are you trying to say, Matt?
Now we got Matt.
What is Matt's telling us to get our clock management
Matt's
together?
got places to be.
All right, Matt. Jeez. Last time I showed Verona any love. The hell with Verona. All right.
No, I love you guys. So there's a couple layers to this. Embarrassed is a strong word, really strong. But what I would have preferred is for Mark Murphy to call all the other owners and say, here's what I'm doing. Do you support this? And then they send a joint proposal that 22 teams in the league have jointly proposed to ban the tush push. That would have been a much stronger way. Now the Packers are out on a limb, laughing stock of the league, quite frankly. Teams are probably laughing at them. The other piece is this is such a copycat league. Why on earth is not every single team doing the tush push at a high level? Some aren't even trying it. The Bills are. And so I would have assumed 2 years ago that every team on the planet would start doing the tush push at a really high level, and there's no reason they can't. It's an easy play.
Well, thanks for the call. Well, first off, there is a reason.
Go Wildcats.
How many quarterbacks squat 800 pounds? How many quarterbacks do you have? Frail old quarterbacks that you don't want to put in harm's way. And by the way, the league does everything in its power to cover and not let quarterbacks get hit, but now they're fine doing this.
But
it goes against the basic premise of protect the quarterback at all costs. And they're running this play. So it goes against it. That's just another added layer to the get rid of it crowd that I'm in.
But to Matt's point and to the Packers' strain of this story, you could have someone else do it. Right?
You know what you want, Jason? Jesse? Let's get rid of the guy you're paying $60 million a year to. Let's not put him under center. No. That's what we try to do in the NFL. Let's not put our $60 million. Let's get more plays to have a backup quarterback sneak the ball. Yeah, great business idea. Amazon's going to pay big money to have more quarterback sneaks.
Sour tea.
Right, let me know when you're done, Sour tea.
Well, if you'd let me finish.
You would know. Better It's better financial responsibility to not put your $60 million quarterback under center to get the crap beat out of him on a quarterback sneak if you have a player that can handle the snap part of it and not fumble it and then lurch forward with his powerful body like a Tucker Kraft or like a Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
If they are playing Kenny Pickett at quarterback, did they still do the tush push?
I don't know.
Because
Yeah, they
Jalen
do.
Hurts missed some time.
No, they do.
I know the Kansas City Chiefs
And he
don't
busted
do
a
it.
rib doing it.
Right, they don't want to lose their star quarterback who they pay $60 million.
You're
But they
literally
also
making my argument for me, so thank you. You're literally making my argument. So it makes sense.
No,
Oh,
I'm saying that you.
Let's get to the next call.
You can.
You're making my argument. Thank you, Matt, for helping me make the argument, even though you're against it.
I'm starting to feel like you're driving the car and we're the passengers.
And we're careening from guardrail to guardrail.
Little tyranny
All
going
right,
on
who's
here.
the next caller, Jesse?
I have a text. Would you like to read the text?
Well, I thought Matt was saying we got 6 calls. We got to get to him.
He's right. We do.
So let's go.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Let's go to Doug in Kenosha.
Good luck, Doug.
I agree with Tausch. Oh, great, Doug.
I hate the tush push.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's very predictable and boring.
Yes.
And if they do want to keep it, which I hope they don't, but how about it, like the coach is throwing out the red flag? How about they get to use it once a game? That's it. I don't want to see him going down the field with it.
Oh, I kind of like Doug's idea here. I like this. Great call, Doug. You made me think. I'm totally on board with that because
Doug
there's strategy. You have to announce it that you're
like the
tush
onside
pushing.
kick.
Totally on board with it. Yep, because that adds drama to the game.
You can just see when they're lining up to do it that
But you only get
is part of the drama
as
and the
coach,
excitement.
Sirianni has to pick, when am I going to utilize it? Am I going to do it at 4th and 1 in the second quarter when I might need it at 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter? All of a sudden, Sirianni's got to think about it. Everybody's got to think about it. It's like a timeout. Love that call. Love that idea. Doug's at the top of the board. Next.
I don't think we should go down the slippery slope of deciding when you can use specific plays.
This
I would
is
think that'd
one
be something you'd be
specific play.
against.
I like this idea.
You also don't like the fact that you have to announce the onside kick,
No, it's
though.
dumb. The kickoff is dumb. I've said that 100 times. But I want to make it as good
How is this different than the
This is
kickoff and you
different.
have to announce the
This is
onside
different.
kick because you can't do it in the first 3 quarters of the game?
Yeah, this is different.
You also have to get into the definition of what is a tush push play then.
No,
And
we know
if
it's a tush push. If you line up and you push the tush, it's a tush push.
But if you hand it off to
And
the
once
running
you
back and then the
declare,
running
you
back
have
gets
to
pushed? Or?
You have to declare. Doesn't mean you have to run it, but that is your only declarative one. That's it. Then you can't do it again. Love it. Good idea. And by the way, the more you do this, the more it's going to siphon out the fact this is idiotic. Get rid of it. That's why I like it. You know what coaches don't want? More on their plate. Give them more, and they will scrap it. Yes. Great job, Doug. All right, let's get to one more call before the break. Jesse, who do we got?
We go to West Virginia.
You're on the text chain.
I love
If you
it.
want to take over, going to
I'm not
calls,
trying
look
to
at
take
your
over. I'm trying to
phone.
get moving.
You are
Matt,
100% taking
Matt
over.
and Verona got me motivated and fired up. We got to get to it. Let's go.
Let's go to Steve in West Virginia. Steve,
Country
welcome
roads.
to
I need to get to West Virginia.
Sweet Tea
What's up, guys?
Tausch.
What up?
Are you at the Greenbrier?
What up? No. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, good. Are you embarrassed by the Packers proposing that the tush push be banned?
No, not at all. Why would I? We shouldn't be. Because, so many, a lot of stuff was already mentioned that can happen. And the thing is, not just the quarterback, but any guy, defense, offense, whatever, guys could get seriously injured. You have no idea of the pressure that's coming in, how a guy could fall, and he can injure the neck, any part of his body. It could be a really bad season-ending injury. You'd have no idea what can happen in this push.
Yep.
With all the weight, with the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and then you have no idea what can happen. I get a slip or anything happen, and next someone can get seriously injured, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for it. It's just like somebody even made a comment on today I was watching, like when to block a field goal, you're not allowed. The defense is not allowed to like touch or jump over or whatever the offensive lineman or anything like that.
Yep.
It's a penalty. See, this is why it doesn't make any sense. If that's not allowed, and then they could do all this on the offensive line, and like I said, anybody seriously could get injured. You have no idea with all that muscle, all that power with the offensive lineman, defensive lineman, it's going in. I don't want to see anybody get seriously injured badly because of a stupid play of a tush push. That would be, ridiculous.
Steve, thanks for the call. I will say this: we don't have any level of evidence that this is a play that leads to a higher likelihood of injury than other plays in the course of a game. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not. I'm just saying that both Troy Vincent, speaking on the NFL Network yesterday, Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, speaking at the podium yesterday in Indianapolis, and Goody, who just talked moments ago, all three said what I'm saying now, which is there is no concrete evidence that there is a higher risk of injury. Tausch, do you believe that this is a dangerous play from a player safety perspective or not?
Yes.
And if you think it's unsafe, you don't run it with your $60 million quarterback, you said.
No, I'm saying if you're going to do that, yeah. I just... Is there any concrete proof that putting all that humanity fighting for 3 inches of space, we get that that's football, but the amount of force and snap back, I can't concretely do it, but I can tell you this, it's much more likely that happens. You can get hurt any play, any time when you're playing football. This is on steroids, the idea that could happen. It is highlighted and accentuated more because of the amount of humanity in one spot. Yes, it is not pro player safety under any circumstance. I don't care what analytics tells me. It's not. Okay?
I'm just telling you that's what they're saying. That's what the NFL is saying. We don't. I just gave you 3 people, including the executive vice president of
Jason,
football ops.
You know publicly versus privately is different. Come on.
Right, but can they really say, are they in the business of saying that this does not have an elevated injury risk if they don't, they don't want to say that? They don't want to say that if they can't make that up.
They don't want to get involved in this because it's outside of their purview. That's why. If you're
it's not outside of Troy Vincent's purview. He's the one who led the kickoff change.
If you're good at this, you're going to want to keep it. Period. Fin. If you're not, you want to get rid of it. The question the NFL has to always battle is it going to make the game more entertaining? And I'm telling you right now, if I'm Troy Vincent and Roger Goodell, all I'm doing, if I'm Mark Murphy and I'm going to stand on this battlefield to get rid of this, send that clip in with Washington and the ref saying we are going to award a touchdown because we can't figure all this out. That is the goal. That will be the proverbial break in the wall that will topple this whole deal because the embarrassment and the amount of people that have wagered on that game via parlays and whatnot is going to be where you start getting into really having some issues off the field. Not even considering all of the on-the-field stuff. And the fact it's just not entertaining. I don't know why we think this is worth it. I don't know why we think this juice is worth that squeeze. It's not.
Yeah, I think we're over. I think we're making too big of a deal out of this. I think if you just eliminate the pushing from the back and you still do all the rest the same, it will not be as successful but it's risky to run that play without the pushing, too, because the same mass of humanity is colliding at the line of scrimmage. I want to get to a few more of your calls, and then I want to get to what Goody said, because I know our team of crack producers has worked very hard to cobble together all the audio clips from Goody in Indianapolis. So we will get to that. If you're on hold, we'll get to your calls coming up. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The Green and Gold Championship window is on the clock.
To me, their window is now wide open. From here on out, they have the opportunity to get to the Super Bowl.
The countdown to the NFL draft in Green Bay is on.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks. Goody's inability to nail the first-round draft pick is what is keeping this team from being a true Super Bowl contender.
Green and Gold off-season talk right here. 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Terms and conditions apply. First wash free for new members only.
They say seeing is believing. And when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800
1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
I'm working late because I'm on the radio.
That was Sabrina.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the song I've heard.
This is the one I was
She's
singing
got
to you
She's
earlier.
got 2 or 3 that they
She
hammer
does, yeah.
pretty much consistently within the hour. It's
Please, Please, Please. That's a popular one.
All right.
Please, 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 can we get some more calls so we can get to Goody? Let's go north of the border to our soon-to-be 51st state, from what I'm hearing. It is Ricardo in Canada. Ricardo, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Good morning. By the way, you guys got it wrong. You guys will become the 12th province of Canada, from what I hear.
Sounds like an interesting
battle.
Very interesting battle.
Kind of like
There we go.
Kind of like your idea, quite frankly.
Trust me, our taxes are a lot worse than you guys, so you don't want that. But listen, I just want to throw it out there. Listen, I'm a purist. Just leave the game the way it is. Everything is cyclical. Everything goes in cycles. It works right now because they have a team made for that. Eventually, there will be a team that will have 350-pound defensive tackles that will stop it, and then they won't run it. As soon as Sirianni gets another job, the Eagles will stop running this play. Leave the game the way it is. They mess up the kickoff return. Now they can't do surprise, offside kicks and all that stuff. You can't dictate a team on what they can play and what they can't play. Leave the game the way it is. It's working right now. It'll work for another few years, and then it won't happen again anymore. Just leave the game the way it is.
Like the Wildcats.
Yes, figure it out. All right, they run it. Someone will eventually learn how to stop it, and then everyone will start learning how to stop it. Let it be. All right. By the way, boys, have a good day.
Let it be. A little John Lennon. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think that is even better than Doug's call of "It will go the way of the white."
I disagree.
I think you're a Doug stan now.
I'm becoming a Doug stan.
Doug Gutekunst, oddly enough, is that guy's name.
I'm just shocked that Wilde is advocating for us to be a 12th province. He didn't even know there was 11 provinces up there. That's the other shock.
I'm not advocating for anything.
Well, you just said it. I want to make sure I put that out there.
I thought there were 14.
I don't know. Well, Ricardo, I think, knows probably more about provincials up there in the north than we do.
I'm sorry, what are they called?
Whatever. So it's easy to say this was never on. By the way, do you all remember since Ricardo is now going to be the standard bearer for what the integrity of the game, and what did he say? The history of it, right? The protocols, all this stuff. What was the word he used, Jesse?
I don't know.
All right. Do we remember the
Why
Ice
is it
Bowl?
always our fault when we don't know what
I'm
he
asking
wants?
because you guys. Okay.
I was just looking up.
It's
that there
my
are,
bad that I would think you guys
there
were
are
listening
10
as I'm talking.
provinces and 3
Well, weren't you
territories in Canada.
Yeah, it was. So, do you remember when Bart Starr? Was there a tush push, or did he do a quarterback sneak?
No, he did a quarterback sneak.
So for all these, the purists, that's the word I was looking for, football purists like Ricardo, and I love Ricardo. Football purist wasn't about rugby. If you all want to watch this tush push so much, go over to New Zealand. There's plenty of rugby over there. This is rugby. You want to watch rugby? Watch rugby. I want to watch football. I want skill. I'm not interested in all this other stuff. And by the way, I love watching when there's like a scrum and the O-line comes in and just they move the pile like Tucker Craft and get that extra 8 yards. I'm all right with that. That's organic. This ain't organic. None of this is organic, and it's not pure. It ain't no football purism about what we're seeing.
I don't want to speak for Ricardo.
This is synthetic.
I don't think Ricardo was saying that the play itself is pure. He called himself a purist, saying, I believe that the game will resolve these types of issues by the way it evolves. The Wildcat was the new rage for one period of time, and then teams figured out how to defend it, and no one ran it anymore, right? Colin Kaepernick was running through the Packers and then subsequently other teams with his read option. And then for years, that disappeared. The Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan offense was unstoppable for a while. And then defenses figured out ways to start to slow it down. Like you yourself, having played in the league for 11 years, don't you agree that the league is cyclical and that whatever is working right now, the people on the other side of the ball, whether it's offense or defense, will figure out a way to stop it or at least mitigate its success? Don't you believe that?
The league is cyclical. This is not some fad. Okay? It's not. And if you want to continue to do this,
I didn't say I did want to. No, I'm just saying that's what Ricardo said.
Don't get so defensive. I'm literally
Sour J.
It is just, this isn't the Wildcat. This is growing. This isn't shrinking. This is not, I just don't think this is entertaining for the league. And I have come on board. I used to, from a former player standpoint, I looked at things in different scopes, mostly player-wise. I have had to change to more entertain me because that's the business we're in. This is not entertaining. This is not the juice. I continue to go to this because it's true. The juice is not worth the squeeze, and I am just waiting. Just continue to pound home the fact that the officials in an NFC championship game were going to award a touchdown.
Yeah. Hated
and if everybody that wants to sit here and die on this hill of the tush push, just keep pounding that tape at people. How is that good for the game? And if you can answer that and say, well, it's actually good because this, you're full of blank. Just keep, every time somebody calls in and says, boy, this is great, this is pure, grab that audio and shove it down their throats.
Okay.
Little sour tea.
I just want, in fairness to Ricardo, our Canadian
I'm not pounding this at Ricardo.
He didn't say this is a pure play. He said he is a football purist. He believes
but he's
that
advocating
the game,
for this.
No, I don't think he said that he likes the play. I think his point was that they will eventually figure out a way to defend it, and it will no longer be. And by the way, to your own point, it's not that popular. It has not taken the league by storm.
It's not shrinking.
One team doing it effectively.
It's not shrinking.
The Packers don't push Tucker Kraft's tush.
Not yet. Let me tell you something. If this dies like it's going to, and it's going to be reincarnated, it will be bigger. And Jason, more teams are going to start going for it on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2.
I agree with
that. This is going to be more and more and more and more. And I think the NFL is leery of getting rid of it because they want that. They want more going for it and getting it that there's more offense in these games. That doesn't mean it's better football or better for anyone involved.
No.
And for everybody that keeps thinking that, just shove that Washington, Philly audio down your throats. And then get Las Vegas and all those folks involved. And I'm guessing people are going to, maybe we need to think this. Maybe Mark Murphy's on to something here.
Look, my position remains as it was from the beginning of the show. I don't like this play. I think that they should stop allowing players to push the quarterback from behind. I think they should force more teams to get creative like the Packers did, who did not want their fawn of a quarterback getting whacked on quarterback sneaks, so they motioned their big, burly, 9-man football quarterback in high school in South Dakota playing tight end under center, and then he takes the physicality that he has and gains the first down. I'm on board with that, with the Packers not pushing his butt to get him across the line of scrimmage and get the first down.
Yeah.
So I agree with this. The point that I think that Ricardo makes that is a fair one is that throughout NFL history, stuff that has been in vogue, eventually teams figure out how to defend it and it stops being effective and teams go away from it. And right now it's one team that's doing it.
Buffalo did it a ton. A ton. And Jason, I guess the point I'm making is if they're not going to disallow this, you are going to see teams pulling their $60 million quarterbacks, which, by the way, I think the NFL wants out on the field every play. You're going to see, let's start figuring out ways to get some of these big boys handling snaps, and then all of a sudden it gets more entertaining. You're going to end up seeing clown shows, ball flying up in the air because you got nose tackles playing quarterback. That could be more entertaining. But if you think Philadelphia is going to slow this train down for 1 second, you're crazy. And by the way,
I agree
you
with
can
that.
plan all you want and figure out how to mitigate it. Nobody has done it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right about that.
Yep.
It's 10:37. I want to get some more of your calls that you asked for. Yep. After, as you mentioned, there's also the factor of who would get the points if you are playing Prize Picks if they just award the points to the Eagles.
It's a question that I'm thinking a lot of people should be asking. I'm not sure if they are yet, but they will. And I'm going to be playing a lot of second-half basketball. The race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. 10 million members, billions of dollars. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody, and in the great state of Wisconsin, you can win up to 1,000 times if you go more or less on your projections on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Available in more than 40 states, including the greatest of all the states, which is Wisconsin. Download the Prize Picks app and use that code WI to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code WI on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 just for playing. That is guaranteed. Prize Picks.
Run!
Your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
We'll get to a couple of more calls and some really good texts, including one from Denise that I thought was interesting that I saw flash across the video stream. And then we'll get to Goody and what he had to say in Indianapolis. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella Windows and Doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
When it comes to used cars, there's the rest, then there's the best. Shop Ewald Automotive Group's best used cars right now, starting under $15,000. Choose from hundreds of hand-selected quality used vehicles, all with a 133-point inspection, all with a 3-day exchange policy, all starting under $15,000. Forget the rest. Drive the best. Get Ewald's best used cars starting under $15,000.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
See dealer for complete details. Exclusions may apply.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
The win streak continues for the Bucks over the weekend with a 104-101 win against the Wizards in D.C. on Friday night, and then 28 points from this guy in a clutch performance late on Sunday.
Here's the lineup for the Bucks. Lillard fires up a three, and he hits it from straight on. Rattles it through a big-time bucket from a big-time bucket getter.
28 points from Dame Lillard in a 120-113 Bucks win in Milwaukee over the Heat. It's their fourth straight win. They'll take on the Rockets in Houston on Tuesday night before a huge matchup on Thursday night against the Denver Nuggets.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Join Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball for an exciting weekend of hoops action at UWM Panther Arena. On Thursday, Milwaukee takes on Oakland at 7, followed by a Saturday matinee with Detroit Mercy at 3. Experience all the action, including rim-rattling dunks, clutch three-pointers, and game-changing blocks. Tickets start at $13. That's Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball this Thursday at 7 and Saturday at 3. Visit MKEPanthers.com for tickets. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Let's get to a few more of your calls. And Jesse's got a few text messages as well. Let's start.
Again, a lot of private, and Sarah's gotten some that she sent me, of people going back to the football purism of the blocks with Kramer and the quarterback sneaks, that we didn't have no tush pushes on those. So I don't even know if this play is legal.
Right. It wouldn't have been once upon a time, and based on what Chris Canty read on Unsportsmanlike, the rule is still in some way, shape, or form in the book. And they just don't call it. Which, again, the NFL also never announced they were going to have sky judges. They just started doing it.
Yeah. Good
so I don't care that it's hard to officiate. This one is not hard to officiate.
If you can't tell that you're shoving a quarterback's tush, I don't know what else you can. What else are you looking at?
Correct. Let's go to Spencer in Minnesota. Spencer, are you embarrassed that the Packers were the ones who put forth this proposal?
Yes, I am embarrassed that the Packers put forward this proposal. I'm glad you re-asked it, because if it's just the tush push, I don't really care too much about it. I mean, the NFL, they'll figure it out one way or another. But the Green Bay Packers shouldn't be the team that is complaining about this. And I have my own biases, but Mark Murphy shouldn't be the guy bringing up this complaint. You know, so Goody talked earlier today, and when asked about it, he said, I haven't really been, we haven't really talked about that much.
Uh-huh.
I want to know if Matt has talked about it that much. Because what infuriates me is Mark Murphy acting the way he does, like he is an NFL owner. He is not an NFL owner. He just happens to be the president of the Green Bay Packers, and he's supposed to represent what the fans and whatever we want. And this guy is what? He's going to retire in a couple months? So this rule he's trying to implement wouldn't even happen under his watch? That's what upsets me. And seemingly he didn't even talk to Goody or Matt that much about it. It's Mark Murphy doesn't want the tush push. So Mark Murphy is going to be the one to speak up and ask for it to get banned.
Well, first of all, spoiler alert, I think Roger Goodell doesn't want the tush push. And he asked his old buddy, Mark Murphy, one more time.
Gift, we gave you the draft. We won't send you to Brazil again for a while. Just
we'll send you to Ireland.
Hey, throw a little tush push out on your little weekly spot on Packers.com.
Apparently they like green and gold.
But I Spencer, I think it's a very fair point. But I do think I don't know this, but I believe this, that this is Roger Goodell, who has used Mark Murphy to float previous trial balloons. 17-game schedule was one of them. And there have been other examples throughout history. Hey, let's see how people react to Mark Murphy saying this. He's like Mikey with the Life cereal. Oh, give it to Murphy. He'll say anything. And then you see what the reaction is. And maybe people chalk it up to, oh, that wacky Mark Murphy coming out and saying he's a complicated fella.
Just imagine if that young fella from the girls' basketball tournament was interviewing him, how much more they'd have gotten out of him.
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
So I don't know if Mark Murphy is as passionate about this as it may seem. And to your point, Spencer, the fact that Goody's up there at the podium saying, yeah, we haven't really talked about it internally. Well, then why is your team president? Why is your team putting forth the proposal? Shouldn't you have talked about it first?
I'm guessing there was a conversation.
I'm just saying that's just what he said.
Yeah.
Spencer, thanks for the call, buddy. We appreciate you. 844-770-3776.
Have most of our callers, because I've obviously been fired up about this, has it been mostly pro-embarrassment or pro-non-embarrassment?
I feel like again, we got a little bit away from the original question for a while there.
Okay. What's up, Sleepy? Continue.
Long night at Andy North Trivia last
night. Tough bingo night.
Wait, Jesse, were you yawning or something?
I was.
Not a bit. Not like I'm talking monster.
Usually
yawn.
I can get away with it. This time he was staring me down.
It was a monster yawn.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're inconveniencing you from your nap. I won't ask any more questions about anything.
Let's keep going with the calls. Let's go to Jack in Whitefish Bay. Jack, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Doing very good. Thanks for taking my phone call. I do want to give you guys permission to send this clip to the NFL because I have fixed the tush push.
Oh, I love this. Okay, let's hear it.
All right. My tush push rule, you can only do it on fourth down. It allows all these purists to get the, hey, stop complaining, just stop it. You allow them to settle that on fourth down.
So you can't do it on 3rd and 1, but you can do it on 4th and 1.
You got it. Because my biggest issue of the tush push was not that the play itself happened. It was that offenses only cared about getting 8 yards on 1st and 2nd down because they knew that they had 2 chances at getting 2 yards.
Oh.
So you knew on anywhere on the field, if they got 8 yards, they were going for it on 4th down or 3rd down.
What do you think of this? This feels like a compromise that sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, so help me remember. Doug, correct?
Doug in Kenosha.
Doug in Kenosha.
So I like the fact that we have callers thinking outside the box.
I do too.
I really like that.
Fact,
I love ideas. You know, I thrive on good ideology. Thrive on it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I don't want this play to continue to grow. I am wanting to chop like an onion. Chop, 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 chop. Get it out of there. Adding it to every 4th down, no. I love the concept of putting it on a head football coach. I'm only getting one. When is the time? When is it time to do it? If you can do it every 4th down, you might as well just keep it in because I would say it's probably 90% run on 4th down, the tush push. So I like that you're thinking that way. I like that you're processing it, but I'm on the team Doug when it comes to that. Oh, the Yanni. I got to get him. We got to get old boy a cup of mud back there. All right, let's get to our last caller, Jesse.
Jesse, are you on the floor?
I don't know what he is doing.
I'm trying to hide from him because he keeps yelling at me for yawning.
Nobody's yelling.
Scolding, maybe. Let's close out the calls, and then we'll do texts next, and then we'll get to Goody in the 11 o'clock hour. Sorry to those of you who were waiting to hear from the Packers general manager. Let's go to Sparky in Sussex.
Sparks.
Yanni, can you give us Sparky in Sussex, please? Good morning, Sparky.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Well, we're better than Jesse, who's exhausted.
That's understandable.
No, it's not.
Thanks, Sparky. It is understandable. I appreciate that.
You don't know how I meant it.
Whoa, Nelly! All right, Sparky, are you embarrassed or not?
Absolutely not. I'm really happy that the Packers, who had probably the most famous quarterback sneak in NFL history, are asking for a change. I hate the tush push. It was illegal till a couple of years ago, and the NFL ruled it was too difficult to officiate, so they changed it. And now it's morphing into actually pulling runners sometimes, which really drives me nuts because that's not called. And, you know, Tausch mentioned that the star sneak in the Ice Bowl. And I'm guessing you guys may know the story about Chuck Mersine. On the sneak, he thought he was getting the ball. So you've seen that famous picture of him with his arms up, and people thought he was signaling touchdown. He wasn't. He was just telling the refs, hey, I'm not touching him. I'm not pushing him. And I think that's the way it should be. So I definitely hate the push.
Great little ad there of context to that story.
Yeah. Well, he's a football purist, Sparky in Sussex.
I'm just old.
Well, that too. Aren't we all? All right, so, Sparky, do you think that this proposal will work and the play will be banned? Because as we got away from the embarrassment question, Tausch feels pretty strongly about getting this play out of the game. Unless you're only allowed to use it once a game, apparently.
Love it. Once a game.
No, I think it should be gone. I don't think you can say it, hey, it's okay to do it here, but not here. I mean, otherwise, what other rules could be changed?
Yes, that's my issue. Yes.
I don't know. They change it. They basically change every rule every year. Rules change constantly in this league.
Yeah, but how many things do they say you can only do once in a game?
They say timeouts 3 times in a game.
I don't think being allowed to run a specific style of play is the same as calling timeouts. Do you?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Sparky. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Sparky.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've solved anything. I do want to get to a couple of your text messages on the Carbless Talkin' text line, 844-770-3776. Then we'll get to Goody coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Want to remind you, I tell you about them all the time. We're talking about the Ice Bowl. Guess what bank was already a partner of the Green Bay Packers for the Ice Bowl? Associated Bank. Guess who was there when they started in 1919?
Are we doing trivia?
Associated Bank.
Are we doing trivia right now? No, I'm just saying you're asking a lot of questions. Normally, I don't hear that, so I thought you were doing. I thought we were doing trivia during this break.
No one prompted you. No one prompted you to be like that.
Stern Wilde. Just continue. My bad, Jason.
Run your game.
I love trivia, by the way. That's why I'm tired.
We'll get to that in Whoa, Nelly. Associated Bank has been the official bank of the Packers since the Packers began in 1919, but it's not just about Packers checking with Packers debit MasterCards and Packers checks and 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop in-store and online. It's also about the great customer service, and that includes Credit Monitor, which gives you fraud protection, Early Pay, which gets you access to your direct deposit up to 2 days early, and all the other great perks that come with being an Associated Bank customer. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We'll get to your texts, and then we'll get to Goody. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. Spring is fast approaching. Which means we have the seams on our mind?
I'm a seam head now. You can call me whatever you want.
Oh, seam head.
I don't know what that is. That means I'm a baseball dork. All I do is sit and watch MLB Big Inning at night.
Head. I've never heard that before.
That's because you're not a seam head.
Get all your Brewers talk with Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Strong mind, strong body, and strong communities. That is what you need to know about the Princeton Club, and that is what you can achieve at the Princeton Club of New Berlin. When you walk in there, you will feel completely motivated to better yourself just like everyone else is doing. I've done personal training. They have saunas. They have workout classes. They have basketball courts. They have indoor-outdoor swimming pools. It all starts with a tour. Check it out. You're going to fall in love. Free childcare with the membership, open 24/7. Check out the Princeton Club of New Berlin. Get your tour and take that small step to a bigger journey for a better tomorrow. That's at theprincetonclub.net.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris are joined by Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why John Neal started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting. We understand how stressful this can be. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. That's 844-222-1192 or rightchoicetax.us.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
All right, let's get to a couple of text messages so we get to Goody as we start the 11 o'clock hour. Jesse, what do you got for us?
Sorry, I had to get it ready here. All right,
He's napping. He's taking a nap.
Okay.
Oh, CP head back there.
Can I read the text?
By the way, I think you spelled Delavan wrong on Delavan Darien. You got the big promo up there for Prep Mania. I don't think you spelled Delavan right.
Thank you for pointing that out
Well,
publicly. I appreciate that feedback. That's great.
Well, I didn't know you. I didn't even.
It's not like he doesn't have a button where he can talk directly to you, where it doesn't go over the air.
Would have been nice to know before we were live on the show.
Well,
Fred.
I started thinking to myself, do I not know how to spell Delavan?
Fred and Tosa. Did I spell that correctly?
No, but I think he
I don't
spelled
know.
Murph wrong.
Well, but I think Fred spelled Murph in a fun way.
I feel that this is Murph's way to make a legacy for himself as the guy who started the ban on the Tush Push before he's done. It doesn't bother me at all that the Packers were the team that wanted it banned. With that being said, I feel that the league will vote in favor of getting rid of it.
At some point, not yet, but what do I keep telling you boys to do?
I don't know. You tell us to do a lot of things.
You told me to do a lot today.
Have I really? Run the audio. Run the audio. That's what you got to do. And by the way, Murph's legacy, his legacy set. He's a Packer Hall of Famer. He got the draft to Green Bay. He's got a title
him in all by
done.
himself.
He's you could say what you want about old boy. I mean, he loves riding down the hill. He talks a lot. The journalist up in Eau Claire can just get after him like Barbara Walters. But Mark Murphy has been fantastic for the G&G. He has.
Definitely for the bottom line. I am curious, based on the tone of that text from Fred in Tosa, do people dislike, do they find him goofy? Do they dislike him? Are they glad that he's retiring? Are they going to miss him? I mean, Bob Harlan was beloved.
Yeah, that'll be a June topic when I think his tenure ends June 30. I think we can hit that on the 29th.
All right.
I don't know if we need to delve into that with Goody talking. And you're itchy.
Into it?
You're scratching yourself crazy up about this Packer Hivedom about the Gutenator being
Well, he did. The general manager spoke at length, so that does feel important. But let's do one more text message from Denise.
Jesse's struggling today, boy. He's tired.
Sour tea, says Denise. With all due respect, if the Vikings had been the team that proposed the ban, you would be killing them.
I listen, I love the name Denise. It's a great name. Couldn't disagree more. I feel the way I feel. I do.
You would agree with them.
No trophies for the Vikings.
If Green Bay had Jalen Hurts, I might be thinking differently because it's a distinct advantage. But my mindset on this entertained me. I could not have laid out my vision on this clearer. Like, there's times, sometimes I get rambly and maybe I skew off, and I understand that. People say, hey, focus back up, Bolty. This isn't one of those cases. I have been focused. I think my points have been crystal blank and clear when it comes to that.
I look forward to the official Wilde and Tausch beer cheese condiments, and I know that it'll be Coors Light serving as the beer in our beer cheese.
Oh, indeed it will be. Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill and make sure it's getting balmy out. I thought it was summer today. Jesse's got his top down on his convertible, and he's driving in. Mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans. They are. That was probably just to stay awake while he was driving. Make sure they're blue.
I don't have a convertible.
You know it is chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll hear from Brian Gutekunst next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
the Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
We're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our Ring Size Registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size,
because, you know, maybe they want to surprise you.
All they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
Think ski season is over? Well, think again. Granite Peak's bringing you Wisconsin's longest ski season, going strong through April 6th. We're talking spring skiing at Wisconsin's largest resort with live music, fireworks, and endless snow across our incredible terrain. Make it a getaway in nearby Wausau, where comfortable lodging and family activities await. Why travel far when the best spring skiing is right here? Book your ski and stay packages today. Visit skigranitepeak.com for lift tickets and lodging packages. Granite Peak, where winter lasts longer.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. All right, Goody talked at the podium. We're going to have lots more to get to tomorrow since we aren't going to get to all of it today. Thanks to Josh DiMaggio and Alex Strofe and all of our great producers who teamed up to get the audio set for us. This was one of the things he said at the podium inside Lucas Oil Stadium for everyone to hear, or inside the Indiana Convention Center, as it were.
Not the RCA Dome?
Not the RCA Dome. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't call it the Hoosier Dome.
Meow. Hoosier Dome. Yeah.
Projecting. Here is what he had to say about the defensive line and the expectation of getting pressure without having to blitz as much as they did.
We need to affect the quarterback with 4. And how we do that will kind of remains to be seen. But we had good moments last year, but it just needs to be more consistent. It needs to be able to control the game, and we need to control the game and finish games off. And again, I'm excited about the guys we have in the room. We'll see if we add to it. But that's got to get better if we're going to accomplish our goals that we want to accomplish in this season.
We'll see if we add to it.
That means he's adding.
Does it?
Yes.
Also, in his session with just the Wisconsin media that attended, I see photos of, in this photo, I see Tim Van Voren, I see Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated, Mike Spofford from Packers.com. Goody also said that Mark Murphy has told him he can trade the first-round pick even though the draft is in Green Bay.
I was told that Mark won't allow that, is what I was told. Isn't that what people were saying? That was always ludicrous.
No one that actually knew that.
That's always ludicrous. Mark Murphy's interested in winning. He's, yes, I think in an ideal world. But if you can get Myles Garrett for this year's first-round pick, you're doing it 3 times today and then a bunch the rest of the week.
Goody also obviously only has 7 picks right now. They are expected to get 1 compensatory pick, a pretty late one, I believe.
Okay.
Because they did sign 2 very large free agents.
That were home runs.
And that grand slams, in my opinion. That factors into the equation. But he's only got 7 picks. He replaced the pick he gave up for Malik Willis by trading Preston Smith, who subsequently was inactive in the playoffs and was released by the Steelers. So it would appear that maybe the NFL is retiring him. But he's got a 7th-round pick again. He said he wants more picks. And the idea of trading the first-round pick for an edge rusher, his response was, it depends who that edge rusher would be. Does any of this lead you to believe, based on what he said about getting pressure with 4, we've got to get pressure with 4, that's what he said there, and the idea of making a deal to get a Max Crosby, a Trey Hendrickson, or a Myles Garrett, does this make you more or less confident that that could occur?
Less. I don't think there's going to be Myles Garrett will be expensive, financially and compensatory-wise. Not going to happen, in my opinion. Trey Hendrickson will not be. He'll be expensive, but it won't be as expensive as Myles Garrett. I don't think Goody's going to want to give up. If you're Cincinnati, you've got to get at least a second for him. Goody just said he wants more picks. I believe that. I think he is going to be free agent. And again, we played this game yesterday to not much fanfare and definitely not a lot of buy-in from my two cohorts on this panel. Free agency is going to be, and I think Rob Domofsky is as dialed in as anybody. Ozzy, what are we calling the dude that we don't know how to pronounce his name?
Odigizua.
There's going to be your guy. I think a younger player, Dallas has no cap space. That's where you take that flyer, because what I heard there was Goody saying all the right things about Lucas Van Ness developing and growing and Rashawn Gary getting healthy. And You want to get better with your front four. You ain't going to run it back. You didn't get the consistency. You just heard him say you didn't get the consistency you needed. So if you don't get the consistency you need from that group, you don't just say, let's just run it back. That would make no sense. So I don't think you're going to see the big boy money, high draft picks given away to attain that. I think you take a flyer like you did with a Za'Darius, like a Preston, and you pay, you give a nice contract, but you do it in your structured way that Russ does, where you're not doing it for 5 years. You bring in a young, talented guy that's going to be hungry and that's going to want to eat, and you're going to give him opportunities to go to the buffet. And that will add to that room. That will help spur on some of this other stuff. But you're not going to just sit here and say, I never once heard him say we were good enough. Like this group was good enough last year.
No, he did not say that. And when
you don't hear that, change comes. That doesn't mean these guys won't get opportunities to improve, but he is not going to just run this back and hope. And I don't think it's going to fit. For as much as I'd love to see Myles Garrett and take that big swing, I think the math and the compensatory part of it, if it was one or the other, I think you could live with it. The fact that it's everything and it goes against everything Goody wants, which is more picks, I don't envision that. I think you're going to see OC or someone in that 24 to 27 year range is not a star yet. You don't want to get in the business of picking up washed up actors. Like, I don't want to see Bob De Niro anymore. I want to see
about Ben Stiller.
I want to see my guy. Who's my guy? The Batman dude, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
I want to see guys in their prime.
Is Christian Bale still in his prime?
I think you're one of the last people who should be talking about actors in their prime.
Why?
Because you just discovered Sabrina Carpenter like an hour ago.
Yeah. The bottom line is these guys aren't stars until they get their opportunity. That's where Goody wants to focus. It'll be cheaper, and that's why I think a guy from the Cowboys, Ozzy, or if there's someone else, I'd have to look. I have not done.
Oso Odigizua.
Yeah, it'd be a tough
Ozzy.
name. It's a tough name. A Raven. Someone that fits that big, long, strong...
Any Raven.
What?
Oh,
just
Raven.
give me a Raven. I don't care which one. Just give me one.
Well, Milt's an old Raven. They like the Raven model. They do. They love.
He's also an old Pecatonica Argyle guy. He's not going out and get Peck Argyle.
When it becomes this part, you look for what do you know, who do you know, and how do you justify how that fits. It's going to be I think you're going to see maybe not day one, but early in the free agent period, you're going to see someone that you don't really know that Packer fans will get excited about once they hear more about who this player is. That's the model that I think fits better than picking up a Hendrickson or a Myles Garrett or in that vein. That's how you get better in this league.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Yep. All right, he did talk.
Yep. Is that annoying you now that I do that?
I'm just imagining on the bottom of ESPN it says Packers sign a Raven to a 2-year deal.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Great.
So, and I know we played this yesterday, the game, but I just think receiver makes more sense for us to go out and go big boy because there's going to be guys available. And I don't know. I know you said Reed from the Jets. I just feel like the cornerback position is where the draft is going to lean. young. I don't know the Darius Slays, those veteran rentals that you're looking at that you might be thinking. Those 3 spots have been, that's kind of where I think Green Bay obviously is going to be targeting and looking. But I think the D-line is the prime position where it's going to be the sneak attack. It's going to be a younger, but not super young, not the old guy. It's that sweet spot elevator, 25, second contract, hasn't played a lot, but is ready to explode and show what they have.
Right, which is what Goody has done.
That's his model.
Xavier McKinney is that guy.
Oh, no. I would say no. Xavier McKinney was a high-profile guy. That was just a complete bungle by old boy.
But he was 24 years old.
Yep.
He was a second-round pick. He wasn't a first-round pick, so he'd gotten to the end of his rookie contract. Zadarius Smith had 8.5 sacks his last year with the Ravens, so he was an ascending player. They paid premium money to him, but he was not a guy that had gotten a big contract previously. I did want to touch on this before we move on, and that's why I said, yep, you're right. He did say about Lucas Van Ness, and I quote, I expect him to take a big jump this year. Do you believe Lucas Van Ness is A, capable, and B, will make a big jump, or do you think maybe they just missed on him?
Don't know why they didn't play him more at the end of the year then. What would make you think that there's going to be a monster jump? I'm not writing him off by any stretch.
No, I'm not saying you should.
But I just look at where did the reps go when the money was on the table last year? Brenton Cox played more than LVN did.
Correct.
I'm not sure if Enigbare did. Lucas Van Ness will get a ton of opportunities to show that he's that guy. I've said from the jump, he is going to be, you're going to get physical, tough play from him. He was strong like a bull when he came here. He's probably gotten a lot stronger. I don't know if he's picked up on the nuances yet of counter moves and figuring out how to beat guys consistently to cause that pressure in the backfield. You knew he was going to be strong. He was going to have that bull rush as his foundation to what he does, which is a great thing to have. But has he shown the speed and explosiveness to get tackles jumpy, get guards jumpy? I have not seen that. That doesn't mean it's not there, but it is time for him to show that. And if Goody has confidence in him, they won't make a ton of moves. And again, words are words. Action, about that action. If he goes heavy into free agency and the draft, I would think that he's probably looking at this as that's not the road he's going. If they stand pat, he's then putting his words with the actions of saying, I believe that number 90 is going to be a dominant player in this league. Nothing so far would indicate that that is the case.
Your defensive lineman snap counts in 2024 were as follows. Kenny Clark, 686. Rashawn Gary, 639. Kingsley Enigbare, 511. Carl Brooks, 442. Lucas Van Ness, 428.
If you had to wager right now, who is going to be a Green Bay Packer longer?
Kingsley Enigbare.
Carl Brooks or LVN?
Ooh. I'm torn because I have been taught by you that first-round picks constantly have to prove that they don't belong in the league. And 6th and 7th round picks, Carl Brooks, I believe, was a 6th-round pick out of Bowling Green, constantly have to prove they do belong. But I'm going to take Carl Brooks in that one because I think Carl Brooks will play out his 4 years. And if LVN does not make a big jump, as Goody just said he will, or he's expected to, they're not picking up the 5th-year option on him.
Correct.
And they're both members of the same draft class. So if you're only going to re-sign one then after 4 years, Carl Brooks isn't going to cost you a fortune either, theoretically. All right. Tausch, this would be the part of the program where I say it's time for trivia.
Oh, I thought, aren't we doing triple trivia tomorrow?
No.
Why?
We're quitting that.
Why?
I said so.
You said so?
We got all this Goody audio we want to break down, and you want to go when we could do what we all love, and we could just do double travel trivia tomorrow.
Jesse has questions that he stole from Trivia Night for the Andy North
They'll
event.
be good on Thursday.
They aren't going anywhere. You're right.
So, I mean, it either is or it isn't. Like, we have all this audio that we want to get to, or it's not, and
I
that's
love
fine.
the fact that you care about the audio now, but you didn't care about the audio earlier.
What would you like to do next,
Let's
Tausch?
do some more audio of what Goody had to
we'll
say.
save trivia
and let's
for
do
later.
trivia.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Sweet tea.
All right. That's you like it when I'm sweet tea, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can bet there's going to be a question about Delavendarian tomorrow.
Well, it won't be spelled correctly. That's been taught.
Ouch.
I think the geese stunk last night, and that's why Jesse's all sleepy and tired.
The geese didn't even fly last
Did Tier 1 get his butt up, or did he call it?
Tier 1 was out with illness last night.
DNP.
Very
I ain't gonna
disappointing
lie
for
to you.
Team
And
Pepsi.
I know
was
people
not
get
the same
sick,
without
and
him.
I understand that, but Tier 1 is just dropped in my tierdom with that performance last night.
Boy.
I don't know what his illness was, so I might be being a jerk.
I think you're being a jerk.
He said he did say he was up all night Sunday night into Monday.
Yeah.
Which was part
He
of the
also
reason.
was part of the planning and everything else that was related
on
to
the
this
board,
event.
Yeah.
for the event.
So I would
So
think,
I'm guessing he was legit sick.
Also means
well,
you don't want to miss
make
it when
me
you're on the
feel
board.
bad, but isn't he?
Fair.
He's in the beverage business. Couldn't he find like some stuff to rehydrate to get through the 4 or 5 hours?
Bubbler. All right, we're not playing trivia.
Be bubble guts.
We are going to get some more audio.
Good one.
You are one of one. Want to remind you, speaking of one of one, David Gruber, he is definitely one of one. And Gruber Law Office says, one call, that's all. That's all you need to make to get the best in the business on your side as you fight for what you deserve if you've been injured in an accident. So make the call, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website, gruber-law.com. More from Goody next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Be the MVP of gift giving with a Milwaukee Bucks gift card. From exhilarating Bucks experiences to unforgettable Fiserv Forum events, your gift card recipient can score tickets to Bucks games and other events through the Ticketmaster box office. Shop exclusive gear at the Bucks Pro Shop or get a favorite snack at Fiserv Forum's concessions. It's a win-win gift that lets them choose their experience. To purchase a gift card, visit bucks.com/gift cards.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella Windows and Doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tausch here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Brian Gutekunst spoke at length, both with Wisconsin reporters and then at the podium at the NFL Scouting Combine. And he also talked about, and I don't know if he called it, what did you call it a couple weeks ago? Explosivity?
I can't remember what I just talked about 3 minutes ago. You want me to go back 2 weeks ago about a word I may or may not have said? Seems like a losing proposition. No offense.
None taken.
Explosivity is one of the words, and I was still dumbfounded at my own lack of. I watch every game, I watch every play, and I did not feel like this was an explosive team. But the numbers dictate that I'm being an idiot, and I didn't like that.
Well, maybe Goody agrees with you. Here is Goody talking about the Packers' explosivity or lack thereof.
Yeah, I think, again, and things change so much, but I think the one thing, we were very explosive at times last year. We had a very explosive football team, and that's important to us. We want to stay that way. But I thought there were times when we needed to control the football game. We weren't able to control the football game, whether that was through the passing game, the run game. We just weren't able to control the football game. Again, very explosive, and I think we were a threat every time we were out there. But I think we got to get to a point in situational football where we can control football games, and that'll be important moving forward.
Tausch, I see you nodding. Do you agree with that assessment?
What he's saying there is we weren't consistent. That's what he's saying.
And they weren't.
And a lot of that comes back to penalties, especially early in the season, and then drops, and however you want to look at not executing the big plays in the big games when you needed to. The fourth downs against Minnesota up there, if you convert those, who knows? It's a whole different animal of a game. Detroit early in that game. There's certain games need certain ways you need to play to win, and I think you like the way Green Bay has different ways to go, but the thing that's the most disconcerting to me is the lack of functionability on a consistent basis at the end of the season offensively. And the fact that Matt LaFleur, after the Bears game, said he doesn't feel good about where they're at. Sloppiness and all that. That's troublesome. And I think that's what Goody's saying. What Goody is saying is there are a lot of really good things to like, but we consistently did not execute them at a level high enough to be where we want to be. And I don't know if that tells you need a veteran. I don't know exactly what that tells him, how he is, but what I'm hearing there is we need guys that I know what I'm going to get. I know that this is the standard that they're going to play at consistently. And last year, and I really think the wide receiver position is where you're probably looking at it the most, they didn't get enough consistency. And in fairness, I am always going to look at the O-line in a unique way. I felt like they were a pretty good unit, but listening to what Matt LaFleur had to say and when Rob Domofsky joined us a couple weeks ago, I think we have to look at that maybe a little deeper, because it feels like on the outside everybody thinks it's a good group. I know how I felt.
Yeah, good. Is it good enough?
But when you start saying you have to consistently make football plays, is that what he kept saying? There was one phrase he kept using in that quote. That comes back to controlling the game. Controlling the game. Who controls the game outside of the quarterback? Probably the most of anybody.
All right, the other thing that I want to get to, and then we'll get to...
That was a question. Who controls the game more than the quarterback?
I thought it was a rhetorical question, and when I hear rhetorical questions, I don't answer them.
This wasn't rhetorical.
Because that's what they're supposed to be.
Fair.
You don't answer a lot of the regular questions either.
That's true. No, and he hedges, and then he'll come back and, I got a question for you. Offensive line is who controls, Jason. When you say control the game, offensive and defensive lines are what control games. They dictate how you play. And I think at the end of the season, we did not dictate anything. We were dictated to. And I'm sure that's part of the mindset of what Goody was saying there.
Okay, Goody also was asked about Josh Jacobs' comments on Radio Row.
I'm guessing he's not going to care. Or at least that's what he says publicly.
Here's what Goody said about that.
Yeah, really what our players say in the media doesn't really affect the way we're going to go about things. I have a lot of private conversations with our players, and that's very important to me. How they feel towards our locker room and our team is important to me, but what happened, it doesn't really move the needle for me.
Doesn't really move the needle for me. I thought the other interesting part of that is that it's really important to me in the private conversations what they say. I don't know if that's been what other players have said has occurred with him. Should he care about what Josh Jacobs had to say? Because I think there's an argument to be made that Josh Jacobs made a fair point.
Well, the question I have is what Josh Jacobs is saying publicly the same thing he tells Goody privately?
That would have been a great follow-up there.
Well, that's why... Well, I'm not going.
That's why you should have gone to the scouting company.
I couldn't agree more. I still don't know. You get that shrimp, and you'd have had a heck of a time down there. It's beautiful weather, walking city. It's great. There obviously is the GM is not going to worry about everything that's said, but there's a reason that they have PR folks sending them the stuff because messaging is important.
Yeah.
Coaches care what their players are saying. General managers care because narratives are formed off of that. Now, they're not making decisions solely based on that, but you best believe if Jordan Love doesn't trust that he has a guy that can be where they need to be consistently on third down and that will catch the football, and he illustrates that to Brian Gutekunst, and I'm not saying that happened, but I'm not saying it didn't. You don't think that might sway Brian Gutekunst to say maybe we need to rectify that? Of course it does.
Sure. I don't know if it affects how he's going to go about it, though. He also got some questions about drafting a first-round wide receiver. Again, I don't know what he sees as his solution. I will say this confidently. I don't think they're in the T. Higgins conversations.
Who thought that they were?
No, I mean, I think there are folks that are hoping that they will be. But, again, I don't see that as we go back to what we were saying about the edge rushers, surrendering picks and then paying a guy a very large number does not seem something that Brian Gutekunst wants to do.
You just heard Goody say he wants more picks. I 100% believe him.
I do too.
So you don't get more picks by trading picks.
No, you don't. You get less picks that way.
And I don't know if T. Higgins will end up getting franchised. I don't know that. My guess is that they do, and then they trade him to New England or someone with an inordinate amount of cap space.
Agreed.
And get like a third or fourth round pick, kind of what we did with Corey Williams way, way back in the day. But Goody's going to pick up a veteran wideout. And that veteran wideout should be Devontae. I don't know if Devontae, again, there's so many reports. How many times do you get to right a wrong? How many times? From both sides. They have an opportunity to fill the circle. How fun would that be?
I think that's a Sabrina Carpenter song. We'll get to
I
Whoa
wouldn't know
Nelly.
because we haven't heard any, and I still haven't heard Black Balloon, but that's another story.
Again, sweet tea. Jesse, how's your day going?
I have done nothing to provoke this. He did bring dunkers in today from Quick Trip, so a nice blueberry dunker. So I appreciated that from Old Tea.
Yeah, the banana didn't go
downhill
over
ever
great.
since.
Seemed like it was going to be a sweet tea kind of day.
Yeah, blueberry.
Here we
I
are.
actually prefer the cherry.
Cherries are
I love a
great.
good cherry dunker.
Blueberries are good.
Blueberry.
Haven't had the banana yet. Looking forward to trying
I thought
those.
about just bringing in a bunch because I know everybody's eating healthier. I thought about those $1.99 parfaits, and we're not even doing a quick trip read today. But I thought about doing that, but then I get in your hands, and I'm like, I got books to carry, and so I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry, what was the reasoning?
It's a handful of stuff. With a dunker, it's just a box. Boop, put it on my little binder. Boop, bam.
You carry books around with you?
I'm an avid reader, Jesse.
Heard that about you.
Passing some time until that 8 o'clock tip tonight?
Jeff passing.
Good one.
Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Courtney Cronin.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that this carried the energy of a Game 7. You watch what happens on the United States bench when the camera cuts over to them after Connor McDavid scores that goal in overtime. The level of dejection on these players' faces. Like, this is an exhibition tournament. Does not count for anything. It's not going to affect whether your teams, when everybody gets back together, can go contend for a Stanley Cup. But it meant something. And I think that in the juxtaposition between the NHL and the NBA, both in the middle of their All-Star break, the product that was put out last weekend from the NBA and the product that was put out last weekend through Thursday with the NHL, there was a give a bleep factor.
Sure.
That clearly one league had way on the other side of the pendulum than the other.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
What's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're community advocates, fundraisers, small business champions, and all around passionate about you. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together. Insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security check get garnished, or a lien put on your house so you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a plan to solve your situation right now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. Call now, 844-222-1192, or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Comments, and I thought Green Bay G in the Madison YouTube stream. LVN was not a starter at Iowa, so he did not take that second-year jump because he's a year behind. So year 2 to 3 will be his big jump.
Okay, I'm on board with that plan. It sounds very optimistic.
It is optimistic. My question for you and my question for him was, if you are in today's NFL, can you really afford to have a guy basically be a non-factor for 2 straight years? And is a guy worth picking, unless he becomes Myles Garrett, is it worth drafting him with a first-round pick at number 13 if he doesn't do a whole heck of a lot the first 2 years?
Yeah, if he balls out, absolutely. Everybody develops, and especially now with young players like Kenny Clark, kept getting better and better.
Yeah, but he did a lot more in year 2.
In an ideal world, these guys are rock stars from the jump. That's just not how this works typically. So I think the thought process of G&G dude in the YouTube is interesting. I don't buy that because he was still there for a couple of years. He had opportunities. Even though he wasn't a starter, he got a lot of work. I think the question is, will he learn the game? Is he have enough stuff off of his foundation of strength? Does he have enough to be an elite pass rusher in this league? Right now, the answer is no. That doesn't mean you don't develop and get better. Plenty of guys. I would bet if I look back at Trey Hendrickson when he was in Nolans, I would bet early on he was, because he is all craft. Old boy's got that power as well. It's ideal. It's a hopeful thing, but I think if you're banking on the Packers pass rush being markedly better because LVN is going to be a dog, I don't know if that's a strategy you want to bank on. I think you hope, but if you're banking on that, it might be struggle city moving forward.
Trey Hendrickson was a third-round pick, number 103 overall, so 90 picks later than the Packers took LVN. His first 3 years in New Orleans, 2 sacks. Then he only played 5 games his second year because of injury. He had 0 sacks. And his third year, 2019, he had 4.5 sacks.
So interesting. So he took some time to develop and to get better.
Right, not the 13th overall pick, though, 103rd overall pick.
Okay. Yeah.
That doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. No.
Okay, I would disagree with you.
Why
but
would
after
you disagree?
That, if he can do what Trey Hendrickson did in year 4 and year 5, which was 13.5 sacks for New Orleans in 2020 and 14 sacks in 2021 for Cincinnati, then yeah, great. But I don't think there's been a lot of evidence to this point that a year 3 jump is coming. And if that happens, Goody will be thrilled. And if it doesn't, he ain't no Trey Hendrickson.
Or Troy.
Let's play Wonelli.
Or Lloyd. Any of the Hendricksons.
Who is Lloyd Hendrickson?
Is in Dumb and Dumber.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys says the Cowboys...
Hendrickson?
No Hendrickson in this name. Says the Cowboys plan to be selectively aggressive this offseason. What does that mean?
It means that they're up against it and they're kind of screwed. I saw Orlovsky, who I don't know if he's staying with ESPN. I don't know what his plans are going to be. But I saw his statement on the Cowboys screwed up. Green Bay throttled them in the playoffs. They should have at that moment said, yep, it's time. Get rid of Mike. Don't bring Dak back. Reset this operation. We're not good enough.
I agree with that.
They didn't, and now they doubled down on... Occasionally, you'll double on an 8. When I play blackjack. Occasionally, if they let you.
What about in cribbage?
You don't double down in cribbage. You can...
You lumberjack.
Well, you can crib... that's a whole nother thing. You don't double down on 13s. You don't double down on 14s. You kind of maneuver and hope. The Cowboys doubled down on a 13 or a 14, and they got a face card. And now they're sitting there saying,
busted.
What are we doing? We got a quarterback that's coming off of a hammy. He's been banged up. He can't run anymore. He's getting old. We got a wide out that we don't know what we want to do with a podcast and rush edge. And what are they going to build off of? They got a new coach that they really got buffaloed by Mike McCarthy, and then they just brought in a cheaper version of that. So if you're a Cowboys fan, I don't know what you could be excited about. So this whole thing means absolutely nothing. They have been passed by now by 2 teams, and I think it will be a race to the bottom with them and the Giants moving forward.
To see who gets a franchise quarterback a year from now, or the Giants will take one this year.
Potentially.
Yeah. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
What's the deal with this Matthew Stafford situation? They're not allowing him, the Rams, not allowing him to seek a trade, but allowing him to...
I thought they were. That was reported. What happened?
They're allowing him to talk with other teams, basically just to see that the grass isn't always greener and that maybe he likes the relationship he's currently in, is what all things sound like here with the Matthew Stafford situation. Do you think he plays for the Rams, or do you think he plays elsewhere next year, Tausch?
Rams. This is all negotiation. I don't think... So what happens? The Rams have given him permission, which is always a whoa, to go and dabble. Who's going to give him $50 million a year? A lot of teams would love to have a Stafford-like if they feel ready to rock and roll. But the Rams want to get him for probably $35 to $40 million a year. That's what I think will end up happening. They'll come back. They'll say, well, because does Matthew Stafford want to go to the Giants for $50 a year? Or would he rather stay with the Rams for $40?
Maybe he wants to go to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. The Vikings going to pay him $50 a year? They're not going to pay Sam, what's his face?
Darnold.
Bradford, I was going to say. Sam Darnold.
They're not going to pay 50. Sam Bradford either. They had him once, too.
So this is all part of the deal. I don't know which team other than maybe Pittsburgh. But if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm already thinking, do I want him out in the cold, outside? He's got a big arm. Matthew Stafford, the fact that everybody wants Stafford, nobody wants Rodgers is mind-boggling to me.
Wait, do we know that?
We'll find out. Public perception leads us to feel that way. Whether or not perception is reality, what I always tell you, Jim Huber used to always say, perception becomes reality. We'll see.
And the game room's closed.
It felt like it was pretty common knowledge that the Jets wanted Rodgers before he ended up announcing he planned to go there. Like,
fair.
Haven't heard any team even be leaked. Like, they might be interested in Aaron Rodgers.
There's actually leakage the other way. We don't want him.
Pittsburgh's the closest thing, and that's just more speculation than it is like anybody saying anything.
True.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
So how badly, before we end Whoa, Nelly, without
Why,
Tier
are
1...
we not getting to any of the geese deal? Okay, that's what I was hoping you were getting to.
Not much to share.
What happened? How bad was it?
Well, okay, so there were close to 40 teams, I want to say, in action at Trivia Night with Andy North benefiting the UW Carbone Cancer Center.
Great cause.
Great cause, raises a ton of money every year, one of their best events that they do each and every year. It's a ton of fun to be part of it. I was part of Team Pepsi, as was Becca. A couple of her friends came with as well. So we had a nice table with our friends at Pepsi. Tier 1 Tyler was not in attendance. So the Golden Geese were not reunited, and it showed on the scoreboard. We didn't finish in the basement, but we didn't finish that far out of the basement. We finished fifth to last. Who
was it?
So Tyler is basically Elton Jenkins. Like, you found out without there, you can't even really function as a team.
Who was Travis Glover?
There were definitely some it might have been me, actually.
Luke Tenuta.
I played defense against our team accidentally a couple of times last night. Like, we had the right answer, and I said, I think it's this, and they trusted me, and then I was wrong.
Ouch.
Now, there is a component of this charitable cause where there are celebrity guests walking around who have the answers and can give you clues or just straight up give you the answers if you make
Matt LePay?
Matt LePay was one of them, and I think there was some targeting last night.
He came after you?
Pops came to the Pepsi table more than once, and he knew we were going to be paying for an answer when he came around. So we paid for some answers and still ended up in fifth to last. So that shows
At least it went to a good cause.
That shows you where we were at last night, old Team Pepsi. Yeah.
Maybe you should be nicer to Tier 1 Tyler. And maybe
Tier 1 Tyler should have showed up.
Yeah, I'm with Jesse on that. And again, I don't know now, if he was like 103 fever, I'll forgive him. But if he just had the sniffles, I'm sorry. He got to get out there.
And we sent Tyler a Venmo request for him to help fund one of our celebrity guest clues.
How'd that go over?
I was sleeping, he sends at 6 this morning. I was sleeping. I didn't see it.
Do you think you're a good friend? You can contemplate that as we wrap things up. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. It's a Marquette game day.
Parham fakes the three instead, penetrate to the basket and dunk.
The Golden Eagles are looking for a dub as they host Providence. Our game night coverage starts at 5 o'clock with Brian D. and Marquette College Game Day. Gabe Neitzel has the Marquette Sports Network pregame show starting at 5:30. Homer and Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith have tip-off at 6 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is your official home for Marquette basketball. We are Marquette.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Join Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball for an exciting weekend of hoops action at UWM Panther Arena. On Thursday, Milwaukee takes on Oakland at 7, followed by a Saturday matinee with Detroit Mercy at 3. Experience all the action, including rim-rattling dunks, clutch three-pointers, and game-changing blocks. Tickets start at $13. That's Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball this Thursday at 7 and Saturday at 3. Visit MKEPanthers.com for tickets. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, Bucks fans, it's Alex Stroh. Enjoy Michelob Ultra with me this Saturday night at Coach's Pub and Grill on South 13th Street in Milwaukee. I'll be at Coach's watching the Bucks take on the Dallas Mavericks starting at 7:30. Stop by for a chance to win Michelob Ultra prizes. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Papa Stash Big Bend, Maxwell's in Cedarburg, and State Street Pizza. We'll see you this Saturday night at Coach's Pub and Grill on South 13th for the Bucks game. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing.
We'll get to a lot more of what Goody had to say today, tomorrow. Tausch, yes or no, the Tush push will be in the NFL in 2025?
Yes.
I think so, too. I don't think it's going anywhere. That's it for us today. Thanks to everyone who chimed in on their opinion on the Tush push. We'll get to more pertinent issues that face the Green Bay Packers tomorrow. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Want to know where the snow is? Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP is buried in it over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season alone. Skip the airport hassle and head to the UP's only resort with high-speed lifts. We're talking deep snow, zero crowds, and a season that stretches well into April. Why fly south when winter's best-kept secret is right here in your backyard? Make this spring break legendary at Snow River Mountain Resort. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. Visit snowriver.com to book now.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Wintrust. Get your Golden Eagles essentials by opening Marquette checking from Wintrust today.
The 16th ranked Golden Eagles lost for the 4th time in the last 6 games as they fell at Villanova 81-60.